I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Morning, folks. For those in Europe and Africa and other points further east, good morning from the past. Good evening to my fellow Neanderthals and canines here on the East Coast of the United States and points further to the west. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. How about those Stormers? Bulls fans licking their wounds, licking their chops tonight. How about those Stormers? What a win. Woohoo, Wanda Silly Similani made himself useful for once. What a win. Woo, baby. We're loving that. We are loving that. Fantastic outcome there at Loftus. What a huge rain delay. Man, it was like freaking the Everglades out there on the Loftus pitch. Unbelievable. And by the end of the game, you couldn't even tell that it rained. It was complete change. What an event. The Stormers meet out revenge on the Blue Bulls. The Bulls up there at Loftus after having lost at home because their kicker couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. A game they should have won. Yep, well, now they take it back, so well done. They should have beaten the Bulls twice this year, but they did beat them once, and that's good enough for the moment. Hendo, welcome to you. Gideon Maloney, welcome. Francois Leroux. Suzette Haman, the very short answer. Okay, GM Peoples last week was very interesting. Let's see what this week holds in store for us. Yeah, good morning, yeah. Raina Fletch, welcome to you. Dirk Wouter Duploy, Virtual Western Cape, Corne van Rooyen, Heidi Krieger, Anel, Beth Fraser in from the U.S., Stefan de Jager, Alma Netia van der Merwe, welcome to you, Len Crow, Johannes Pretorius, AJ Quinn, Alfonso Ferreira, hello. Sharks' performance was worse than Zelensky. Indeed. Only Zelensky did worse than the Sharks did this weekend. Yeah, Pierre Rousseau, welcome to you. Nico Augustin, welcome to you. The Crypto Noob is back, and Adele, Willem Janssen van Rensburg. Don't bark at me, I bark back. Yeah, don't bite, I bite. Pierre Rousseau, EPK, Wei G, Troy Co, Hawkeye. Good morning, Carla, and my fellow Afro-American Neanderthals. Yes, I don't know what Ricofi, is that like Ricola? No. All right, Areno Steenkamp is here. Welcome to you. Morning, everyone. Chris and all the moderators here for the Western Cape. And Brockenfell, I know Brockenfell. You can't deny in South Africa we truly wake up with gratitude because you never know what could happen overnight. That's true. So rise and shine if you're feeling fine. It's on top. Kelly's Heroes for the win. Interesting movie. KP Diago, welcome to you. Sean Nadia, Heidi Kruger, Crystal Pontiac. Well, it's Pontiac, not Pontiac, excuse me. And Anita Jos, welcome to you. Army 3275, how's it going in the Philippines, brother? Staying out of the cyclone's path? I hope so. And a cyclone hit Mauritius. Ooh, nasty stuff. Other side of the world from you, but still, it's Pacific, Indian Ocean island place. Watching from Virginia, the free state of Virginia, Raina. Well, welcome, Raina. Pleasure to have you join us there. Philip Engelbrecht, Gordon Forbes, Marinda Snore. Okay. Herman van Grunig. Seeing a lot of new usernames out there. Leon333, welcome to all of you if you're new to the channel or recent arrivals. Do appreciate you joining us in the chat. Sloth Puppy, been around a long time. Hendo, Chris Ayler's all been here for a while. Terrence Leeper, recent arrival. Sarah Skuman, morning from Cape Town. The same people advising Zelensky, the same people advising Ramaphosa. Exactly. Peter Talliard, Carlo Cronier. My day was okay. I got some good nap time this afternoon after my broadcast. Just relax. Did some reading, chilled a little bit. Read about the Winter War, 1939. Still reading those two books. Karen van Wyk. Okay, Herman, okay. Drag Honda in the Northern Cape, I don't know it. Hester van Staden. And Carleen Viola, as well as Derek Stewart. I think I've got everybody in the chat. So how about those Stormers, folks? Ooh, baby. I thought I would be crying in my buttermilk tonight. I can't stand buttermilk. Won't drink it. It's vile. Yeah, no. Today was a delivery day for the news, or not the news, for the mail. I got the mail today, and wow, my cable bill, which encompasses my internet, 1 gigabyte per second, my voice over IP telephone number, so my landline essentially, and my cable television, $302.29. This bill was $169 a month when I moved in here. I have less services than I had when I signed up for this a few years ago. $169 to $302 per month, and over half of that are fees and taxes. $300 a month to have a telephone and to use the internet. Meanwhile, I'm going to read you a story a little bit later on how they took my tax dollars and gave high-speed internet for $18 a month to residents of Cleveland, Ohio. Illegal aliens, none less. Gave my tax money so that illegal aliens could pay just $18 a month for internet that I pay $302 for. And you want to know why Americans are pissed off? You want to know why Americans are upset? I think that'll pretty much tell you why right there. Hope Uncle Donald has a chat with Squirrel just so we can see exactly how far Donald can throw. Yeah, well, I'd love to see that. It's a shame that was wasted on Zelensky. It would have been nice to see it on Ramaphosa. The Man in the High Castle on Amazon Prime. I tried watching it, home office. I got bored and fell asleep, man. Tried watching it when it came out a few years back. I just couldn't get into it. It's an alternative, the Nazis took over America. I got it. Nice concept, but for fictional story, but I couldn't get into it. I tried. Well done, the Stormers. Cape Tony and Bull. We did not play well. No, the Bulls did not play well. Their scrums were great, but that was it. The rest of the game was terrible. The lineouts were atrocious. Good day from Somerset West. Josua Fundameva. Welcome. Tax money paid for 4 million rand swimming pool. Yeah, well, it wasn't a swimming pool. It was a fire pool. It was necessary to put out the palatial mansion that was built with taxpayer money, and you need that big pool of water. Come on, man. You can't wait for it to come from the creek. Every time I see Lindsey Graham on the news, I want to throw up. Yeah, he's not a conservative. Lindsey Graham is not a conservative. He pretends to be a conservative. He is a warmonger. And what do you expect from AG officer or something like that in the Air Force? No, Estelle. After watching Zelensky get his hat handed to him, now look, the press all over the world are running interference for Zelensky, claiming, and so did Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer exposed his true communist, socialist, fascist leanings by inviting this dipshit to London and then giving him a 100-year guarantee of $3 billion a year. Why the hell would you give Ukraine a 100-year guarantee? I wouldn't give anybody a 100-year guarantee. You don't know what moron's going to be in charge of the government in 5 years, let alone 100 years. They will never eating on that deal for sure. The United Kingdom is gone. It's a corrupt Islamo-fascist state, and it's anti-Western, anti-white, anti-Christian, anti-English, anti-Scots, anti-Irish, anti-Welsh. It's a disgrace to the inhabitants of that island. It's horrible. It's horrible. So is the government in Ireland and the government in Berlin. All disgusting, disgusting people who hate Europeans, hate white people, and certainly hate Christianity. And they're not very fond of capitalism either. Did you see this Norwegian dipshit company that decided to not supply U.S. submarines? It's a fuel company. They provide fuel. Hey, here's a little hint for you morons. Every submarine in the U.S. fleet is nuclear powered. So you're not going to give us oil? Fuck off. We don't need your oil. Oh, they provide lubricants. Well, we'll get our lubricants from Home Depot. We will not. After that shit, they say shit show. I've got the company, Norwegian company. We will not give oil to the U.S. submarine fleet. Hey, moron, they're nuclear powered. You don't use oil in a nuclear powered. You use lubricants, but you don't use oil to power a nuclear powered submarine. It's called nuclear power. Yeah, it'll be released on Monday. That's correct. Yeah, I agree. It's sad to see that the wonderful British people have completely lost their country. I did some mission with the Brits. Good people. Yep, but that country's gone. It's gone. I saw another video today where plainclothes policemen showed up at the guy's house. They want him to come in for questioning. He said, for what? Well, for an offense. Offense of what? Your public communications. And he said, you're menacing people. He said, menacing? Why? Because someone found it distasteful? Distasteful is menacing? It's not the same. Menacing is threatening someone. When you're just distasteful, that's just rude. That's not a defense. But it is in Britain where they lock people up. 18-year-olds standing on a street corner with a British flag, not participating in any events, but just standing on a street corner, locked up for a year in prison. A man not part of a demonstration, but standing on a street corner across some demonstration, arrested and put in prison for 2 years as a convicted felon. While rapists and pedophiles walk free on the streets of the United Kingdom, particularly if they come from South Asia, they're let go because they didn't understand the laws. They didn't think it was wrong to, insert their member into a 10-year-old girl. Little white girl, blue eyes, blonde hair. No, they're fair game for these people from that part of the world, courtesy of the British government. Yep. And in London, where they try to ban Christmas celebrations and Christmas decorations in a secular fashion, now they have big lights and celebrations of Ramadan all over the place. Sadiq Khan is an insidious, evil, vile, anti-Christian, pro-Muslim Manchurian candidate who has destroyed London and turned it into Londonistan. It's a shame. Look, the slow boiling of the frog is just some stupid comment attributed to Ramaphosa. That has nothing to do with the National Democratic Revolution. The National Democratic Revolution is not Cyril Ramaphosa and the frog comment. That's what some Tuballard said as union negotiator at the Codesa summit. That's what that is. They're not. The two aren't the same. They aren't the same. There's no slow boiling of the frog. You're all on fire. Your house is burning down around you. It's time to pay attention. It is Colette Ruiz and Rhino here. We listened to the song of Neil Diamond, Coming to America. It's got, oh, you like that song? They come to America. Yeah, Neil Diamond, it's a cool song. It's a cool song. Not a happy camper. Well, there's a lot of them around. So, no, I don't think that Walk Hill, whatever Walk Hill means, energy costs through the roof. Yeah, NHS is a mess. Cyril's beyond disappointing, Crystal. Thank you for the great news report. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate that. Well, this is more of the chat session, but it's also, it's a Sunrise and Night Owls edition. I don't put Night Owls because it's just too long for the title. But Sunrise is working because a lot of South Africans tuned in. My audience gone from 50 to 80% South African, so I'm focusing on that. Income tax normal for refugees. Well, of course, Tian, it's of course. Why wouldn't you pay income tax? Are you special? No, you're not. Once you get here, you ain't special. You ain't special. You get lots of free stuff, courtesy of me and my fellow Neanderthal taxpayers, but you ain't special. You get a tax break. I mean, almost died for this country in combat, and I don't get a tax break. Why should you get a tax break? Because you rock my shores because you got a sad story. That's not directed at you. I'm just making a point. No. You pay taxes. You work, you pay taxes. But most people don't make enough money to pay tax. Or half the people have income, almost half the people in this country who have a formal income pay $0 in federal income tax. Nothing. If you got a couple little, rugrats, you get tax exemptions. You delete that from your income. You get a standard deduction for yourself. If you're married, you get a standard deduction for a spouse. Married, that deletes income. And then each of you get exemptions. So I don't know what the standard deduction this year, but let's say it's $15,000. So the first $15,000 of your money isn't taxed. Income tax. You still pay Social Security tax. Not taxed. Free. No tax. Then for every person, it's like $2,100 or something like that. So 5 people, that's $10,000. So you're already up to $25,000 before you even pay a penny of tax. And then what's the tax for somebody makes that? You start $25,000? Well, you take the $25,000 off and you start at 1. So if you make $30,000, you're only paying tax on $5,000, which puts you in the 10% bracket, which means you're paying $500 in taxes on a $30,000 income. That ain't jack, or 20, yeah, that ain't jack shit. $500 and $30,000 income. So, look, the whole system is rigged to punish the successful in this country, while the poor and the middle class get a free ride that they all complain they don't get. Tian says, just making sure. That's why I said it wasn't direct to anybody. I'm being facetious there. No, you pay tax. So, let me give an example here. So, if you work a formal job, let's say you go work at IBM, or you work at, we have 2 petrol station convenience store brands that are local to Pennsylvania. One is called Sheetz with a Z on it, Sheetz, Z. And then the other is Rudders. Sheetz is located in Altoona, a little west of here, but they're all over the state. They got huge petrol stations, gorgeous. They're all made out of brick. You guys are freaking out over timber houses. All their buildings are made out of brick. They're gorgeous. Big petrol stations. Then you have Rudders, which is another one. Rudders is from York, Pennsylvania, where the shooting occurred the other day. The 2 cops were murdered, I think it was. Anyway, so there's a Sheetz and a Rudders in this town. They're everywhere. So let's say you go work there, or you work at IBM, or you work for the state of Pennsylvania as a environmental, regulator or something like that, or a forester. Wherever you work, you have a formal job. You have withholding tax taken out at the federal level every month. You have Pennsylvania withholding tax taken out every month. And if you work in certain municipalities, you have municipality tax taken out. So all those take money out. Then you also have to pay your half of your Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid, or Social Security. The other half is paid by your employer. So that means half of that money could have been yours if it wasn't for that tax. So right now, my pay, if I work for someone, my pay would be 13% increased if it wasn't for Social Security, because I pay half, my employer pays half. Since I'm independently, I'm self-employed, I have to pay the full 13%. It's total crap. I pay 13% of my income to Social Security. Every dollar, 13 cents goes to Social Security. Money I'll probably never see. And even if I do see it, it'll never compensate me anyway. So then on top you have Medicare and Medicaid, which is another 6.25% or thereabouts. So you pay about 18% of your income to Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. 18%, almost $1 out of 5 comes out of your pocket to fund someone else to sit on their ass and collect a check. Yeah. So any income tax, then you've got sales tax. We don't have VAT, but most states have a sales tax, not all. Some states have a 10% sales tax, which is outrageous. Some people used to have 4 or 5, but the lowest now tends to be about 6%, which is what it is here. It was 5%. Maryland had 5%. They raised it to 6% 20 years ago. And then you've got all kinds of taxes on communications. You got taxes on fuel, petrol tax, national and state. Yeah, so it's all kinds of taxes, man. No free rides. You come in here as a refugee, you better get a job. Otherwise, you're going to be very hungry. You only get so much help. It's not meant to be a free ride. You're supposed to contribute. And if you're unable to contribute, that's a different story. We help take care of those people. Yep. No worries, Tian. Okay. Don't want to be special. Just want a job and go fishing. Well, there's fishing all over the place, man. Sean has 4 kids. Okay, there you go. Well, that is over $8,000 in income that will never be taxed. Look, my dog leaving without being killed. Well, your dog shits in my yard. You might be running danger of that, virtual Western Cape. Just give me a heads up right now. You let your dog shit in my yard, we're going to have a problem. Shelley Hepburn. Love the strong language against English and the Irish government. Well, they are evil, evil governments. Zelensky is obviously corrupt. His worth is $1.4 billion. Not bad for a comedian. Yeah, exactly. He didn't earn that when he's a comedian. John Steinheisen is the biggest disappointment since 2016-17. Yeah, that was a very disappointing Springbok era. We're already used to paying taxes for the poor. Yeah, but unless you come here independently wealthy, you're going to start out as one of those poor. Unless you have a job guaranteed by someone you know already. The politics of the Philippines is crazy from an American point of view. The politicians are allowed to hand money out and food to the public to bribe. Yeah, well, it's the same thing in South Africa. They give votes. This time they didn't have the money for it, so you didn't see it, and that's why the ANC dropped to 40%. I'm being facetious, but there's a lot of truth to it. Usually the ANC hands out KFC, 3-piece streetwise meals and T-shirts and runs around and makes promises and then doesn't deliver on them. Yeah, no, they do the same thing in a lot of places. Any yard except the colonels. I pay about total 31 tax on some, VAT 15, 46 on money is for cancer. It says 46% for cancer. Oh, for the ANC. Well, Gordon, I pay 28% income tax, federal, 3% to Pennsylvania, that's 31. Then another 18% to Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, that's 49% of my income before I get a penny. So for every dollar I get 51 cents if I'm lucky. Yeah, why am I working for all these other people? And on top of that, I have to pay property taxes that are out the nose for a modest house on a modest lot in a peri-urban spot, not even in a major city. Yep. Plus, I pay for all my services. I pay for taxes for local police, and the fire department's voluntary, so I make donations to them to help the fire department out. I pay for the water through a co-op. I pay for my rubbish removal, which when I moved here was $49 a month. Now it's $90 a month. $90 a month for the same stuff. Yep. No, there's no free lunch anywhere, folks. Governments are evil. They misspend our money. Would you know if we can move our retirement funds over there? Walk, that's not something I can offer advice on. When you say retirement funds, if you're talking about cash, there's ways to move cash. If you're talking about your investments, it doesn't work that way. If they're traded on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, unless that's where they're going to reside. If it's a South African company that has American depository receipts and you've got an account here, that's different. But yeah, the South African government limits how much money you can take out of the country because it fears the economy will implode, and rightly so. It's been doing that for years. But there are ways around that, and I'm not going to offer tax advice on how to do that. You'll have to talk to somebody when the time's appropriate to help you with that. You get to see where your taxes go. No, not really at Troico. I didn't know that my tax dollars were subsidizing illegal aliens in Cleveland, Ohio for $18 a month for the internet that I pay $300 a month for. Didn't know that. Didn't see that. The roads out here on the main highway passing by from Harrisburg down to Pennsylvania are total shit. They were poorly made. They only put down this much, the top layer of coal tar, and this winter freeze cold snap. I've never seen this. The entire road just broke. Everywhere you go, there's potholes. It looks like South Africa. Seriously. And it's 55, 65 mile an hour road, and there's potholes everywhere. Fortunately, they're only this deep right now, so they're not going to blow a tire or damage an axle, but they're getting bigger, and there's no effort to repair them because it's still wintertime. So not even going out and putting, blacktop in the holes just to patch them until we get through the winter. No, I've never seen that. This road has never been in such bad conditions because all the people trying to avoid paying the ridiculous toll, because we're still paying a toll for a highway that was financed and paid for over 60 years ago. And they're still fleecing us for money because they can, because they're criminals. They can get away with it. Yep, that's what they're doing. They even tried to put a toll over the bridge, the main route across to Harrisburg back and forth, and that got shot down, fortunately. But they tried to toll people on that because they're just rapacious thieves. more money to give to other people so they can buy votes. That's what they do. They buy votes with money and programs. Oh, look, we're helping people. We'll subsidize your natural gas so you don't have to pay so much for gas. Meanwhile, I pay $200 a freaking month for natural gas in wintertime, while all these people pay freaking $12 a month because they don't have to pay for it because I'm paying for it. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. If I was a wealth man, I wouldn't notice, but I do notice because you're just stealing right out of my pocket. People driving better cars than I am that don't have any fucking incomes. It's bullshit. Foreign nationals who have no business being here, who were led in this country from Afghanistan, never properly vetted, driving around in freaking Cadillac Escalades, and I'm driving a 10-year-old Chrysler that's falling apart. It's bullshit. Bert Geldenhuis, I didn't see that. I know nothing. I see nothing. I say nothing. Would you say your state turned red recently? What state would everyone possibly be located in your opinion? Well, Paul, I've answered this many, many times. Obviously, you haven't watched any of my videos, but thank you for being a subscriber now. Courtney McBride with a super chat. Oh, stop it, Courtney. Damn it. I saw your video. Dude, when you went through the famous intersection, which, by the way, I stumbled into in Tokyo. I wasn't really looking for it at the moment. I was planning on going to that evening, but I popped up out of the train and came up and like, shit, I know where I'm at. This is like that famous intersection. Dude, I kept seeing your face. Show us the damn intersection. I don't see your face. And it only had part of your face. Next time, record it so we can see the intersection and talk over it. I don't know who the chica who was with you. I assume she's another Navy reservist, but having fun out there in Japan. I'm glad you're having a good time out there, Courtney. I missed Japan. I was there in 2019 for the Rugby World Cup for a month, and it was amazing. It was amazing. Anyway, back to the question here before that super chat popped up. So Paul Bam says, would you say your state turn red? No, I wouldn't say turn red. Red and blue is BS. That's nonsense. Every state has conservatives. Every state has liberals. Some have more conservatives than liberals. Some don't. So this red state, blue state thing is an effort to divide Americans. This state, geographically, physically, is 80% conservative. But we have massive population sinkholes in major metropolitan areas like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, which overwhelm the rest of the state. And so therefore, it's been purple, red, blue, blue, red, red, blue. So I don't really care for that. Where I live at, it's conservative country. 2 out of 3 people who are registered voters here are registered with the Republican Party and ostensibly are conservative. They're more conservative than the Republican Party mostly. Raina says, hang on, I'll get that in a second. And then we've got Gordon Forbes also with one. 10 million per year. Well, that's not what I read, Derek. I understood it was $1 million per year. And after that, you have to pay big fines or taxes. So I'm not going to try to be an expert on South African financial matters. All I know is I can take 30,000 Rand or 25,000 Rand cash. That's what I can carry in the country. That's what I can carry out of the country. After that, they lose their minds. But apparently, if I just go to Pala Pala, I can carry $560,000, So, apparently you get special treatment if you go to Pala Pala. There's no currency violations, no immigration violations, no home affairs violations. You just bring the money in, stuff it in a mattress, and it's all good. Beat the living daylights and shit out of people you think stole it from you, perverting the means of justice, and no criminal charges. It's a really good deal, man. I think my next visit will be to Pala Pala, so I can carry all that money in. Of course, I'd have to have it first. Unless you convert it. Okay. Sarah says, don't mind paying tax when it improves my quality of life. I still mind paying taxes. I don't mind paying taxes when it's appropriate, but it's rarely appropriate. National defense, interstate commerce, aviation safety, ports. Yep, absolutely. Education, nope, that's not for the federal government to be taken. Retirement, that's not the federal government's job. Medical care, not the federal government's job. They're stealing my money. So, no, it didn't turn red. What state would everyone possibly be located in your opinion? Well, Paul, we don't know who's coming, if anybody's coming, and how many. So if 1 million people come, do you think they're all going to go to the same state? No, some states only have 500,000 population. No, I've run through the list of the 10 most filled locations in 2023 states. California's at the top, New York, Texas, Florida. These are states with large populations, large infrastructure, and a large number of hosts, because you get a host who sponsors you when you come over. So there's 300 NGOs. I've covered all this in all the videos, which apparently nobody's watching. Wasted my damn time. You'll be put in a state where there's a place for you to go. It's as simple as that. If you have some sort of existing relationship with the states, a family member, a child, a parent, a relative, a job offer in a place, you can ask to go there. But there's no guarantee you're going to go there. But they're not going to split a nuclear family up. That's why if you're not married, you got a significant other, this English, UK bullshit, this was my partner. Fuck that. It's not your partner. It's either your spouse or it's just another person. As you're applying for refugee status, your partner don't count for jack squat. Your spouse does. All right. And your minor children, depending if they're still in school up to age 21. So, all right. Hope I answered your question, Paul. Was that good? Where we stay in South Africa, every driver looks drunk driving to dodge potholes. That's true, Raina. Peter Liebenberg, good morning. Yeah, ways around it. Yeah, there are ways around everything. Elon described the whole buy votes thing quite clearly. It was shocking. When did Elon say that? Are you talking about on the Joe Rogan interview? Sedgefield, dude, what did you say in one of the videos? Was that actually you? Or that's someone that was, I think it was someone pretending to be you. It wasn't really you. Yeah, complain about nationalizing what's this about nationalizing everything, but inquire about corruption. Okay, Sabina Cook just made me laugh on the roads and potholes. Dirk, it's a 10 million once off and only 1 million per year. Okay, there you go. See, I don't know. I'm not going to argue with you guys. I've heard that. Yes, it really is BS. Financial immigration, Ukraine. Well, you can come here. Financial immigration. You got $5 million. Russia-Ukraine war is close to the end. There is some tax money that can go to roads. Rena says, don't want to sound stupid. What is the prime or lending rate on housing loans? And then how many of business profit in a financial year is taxed? Okay, refugee program has nothing to do with taxes. We don't make taxes for refugees. They apply to everyone here in the country. Even the illegals pay taxes. They steal Social Security numbers and they use that. So what's the prime lending rate? Well, it changes. It goes up and down. Right now it's kind of high. Let's see what the prime lending rate is. Prime lending rate is currently 7.5%. That's high. So by contrast, my home loan is 3.75%. But I have an outstanding credit history, and I borrowed that money some time ago when the rates were, I think, 5.5% when I borrowed it. 7.5% is outrageously high. That's ridiculous. Canada, it's 5.2%. And that's because of the drunken sailor spending of the United States government under Joe Biden, spending $2 trillion more than we had, sucking up all the credit from the markets. And so there's nothing left out for the people who want to borrow money. They have to compete for it, and so the better credit risk get it, and they get it at a higher rate. So, yeah, that's too high. I wouldn't buy a house at 7.5%. You're going to pay 4 times what the price was by the time you pay it off. Or more. Courtney gave another super chat of $5. Went to Yasukuni Shrine yesterday. It's a controversial place. Yeah, it is. And then how many business profit is financial year's tax? All your business profit is taxed. We have write downs. You can take you get to write things off. What's the damn word for it? Over amortization. You amortize, capital investments. If you spent $40 million to build a factory, you can amortize portions of that and deduct it from your income every year if you're a business. But the business tax rate used to be 35%, the second highest in the industrial world, behind Japan. Japan's economy is paralyzed and frozen. Why? Because they have 38% income tax for corporations. It's dumb as all get out. The United States was 35% until first person in decades, Donald Trump said that's ridiculous. He lowered it to 21%. Quite frankly, if I had my druthers and I was president, the corporate tax rate in this country at the federal level would be 0%. It's ridiculous to tax income of a corporation, then tax the dividends that are paid to the shareholders, then tax the wages of the people who work there. It's just ridiculous. And then tax the consumption on top of it. It's all nonsense. Utter nonsense, utter nonsense. It's just wrong. It's morally bankrupt, and it's economically inefficient. Flat tax, if you're going to have an income tax, flat tax, everybody pays 10%. People are dirt poor. You're going to have certain exemptions up to a certain level. We already have that, essentially. We already have a situation where half the damn country works doesn't pay an income tax. And then Gordon Forbes gave a 140 Rand super sticker. Thank you for that. Oh, right in the ear. That's going to ring for a while. So at the federal level, you're taxed 21%. Every state's different. It's up to states what they tax. I would leave it to the states to have income tax on corporations, but I prefer they didn't. But at the federal level, I would eliminate. It only brings about $400 billion a year into the federal tax, $400 or $500 billion a year into the Treasury, and the federal government spends $6-7 trillion a year, so it's a drop in the bucket. The money that Doge saves will take care of that. And then all the money that stays in businesses and money not wasted on tax avoidance schemes and attorneys and tax accountants, all that money can be diverted to investment and job creation or dividends and higher wages and benefits for employees. Like literally, they flood swing states full of refugees and pretty much capture the entire country. Well, they don't capture anything. The only thing they do capture is they adjust the members of Congress. That does happen because, unfortunately, the the census is used illegitimately to count the number of people in an area. And so when you flood it with illegal aliens, they don't get to vote, but their body counts for changing the demographics. So a state will get more representatives versus another, or the representative district will change, which could lead to 2 districts going to one party instead of the other party. It's very evil. It should only be citizens counted for enumeration. Trump said he has stopped many wars from starting. Rang alarm bells for me. Saw there a broke military-industrial complex. Hopefully not. Well, he did stop many wars, Raina. He stopped the ISIS conflict. He stopped Afghanistan. He stopped Iraq. He prevented several other wars. My husband does help people get their money overseas for a living. There are clever ways to get your money out, but you definitely need to speak to an expert. Yes, Lynette, and you need to do it quickly. If you have any intent of this, do it quietly on the QT. Talk to someone. Get the information, find out how you need to do it, and if you're going to leave, know when to strike when the iron's hot before the rand goes to shit and drops to 40 or 50 to 1, and your money's worth nothing. Yeah, or they start putting more financial constraints and getting money out of the country. Thank you, POTUS, for Lifeline. For my child and future will be positive for the USA. Okay. Henko says beggars can't be choosers. Would a refugee have any way of assuring their aged family is not separated from them in any way? No, you have no way whatsoever. None whatsoever. When you mean by age, you're talking about parents. You're an adult in your 30s. Your parents are 70. Is that what you're talking about? Your parents will have to apply for refugee status. No guarantee. No guarantee. They could get it and you don't get it. But the odds are you're going to get it. You have to be a special class of people who are identified of interest to the U.S. government. That's been done. Trump took care of that. You don't even have. So all these people run around with legal advice telling you you're going to have to prove that you've been a victim of persecution. You don't have to prove jack squat. Trump did it for you. Trump did it for you. Now, they might come out with rules that constrain that a bit, but Trump has done it for you. It's right there. He identified a class of people that are being persecuted and deserve prioritization to come to the country. So now I'm going to look like Volodymyr Zelensky as I cross my arms. So you can't trust anything I'm telling you next. China brought the Duterte family here. They bought. The people in the Philippines are very uneducated in politics. It's corruption. And there's a large portion of the public in South Asia also politically naive. Yeah, it's the whole world, brother. Paul says, thank you for being the horse. Well, I would ask you, Paul, that you go watch some of my videos. And this one, which I did weeks ago, that'd be a good one to start with. Hang on. There's a whole section. I'll show everybody where it's at. Okay, my channel. On your mobile, it may look different. On your tablet, it may look different. But generally speaking, this is how it looks. Your channel. Here we go. So this is what my channel looks like on a PC. I realize that it's a different view for some people, especially on a phone. But this is what it looks like on a PC since I'm not on the phone, and you can see this better. So there you go, Colonel Chris Wyatt. There you go. You see I'm live right now. It's got the little red radio under that. So you're going to come down here. We've got For You, then the Trump South Africa Refugee Admission Program. There it is. Look at that. Do not panic, urging caution. That's one of my videos. Refugee admissions, and then going a little further over here. I click on the title, and then I'll show you all the videos. So over here, you can see them. The Great Trek, Beware of the Charlatans, Hucksters, and Con Artists. But the one you really want to look for is the first one I did, the Top 14 Afrikaner Refugee Program Frequently Asked Questions. 88,000 views from 2 weeks ago.
Get ready for a long...
I don't need to hear that Allianz ad. And Courtney just gave another $1.99 super chat. Thank you for that. Skip this advert. Folks, welcome back. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania. This video is born out of frustration from the executive order that President Trump issued about South Africa, in which the United States will no longer provide financial assistance to South Africa in the form of foreign aid, and also opened up a refugee settlement program for a class of people identified as Afrikaners. This has raised dozens of questions, and over the past several days, I've spent an inordinate amount of time trying to politely and patiently answer the questions of thousands of people online. Now, the U.S. government had an obligation, in my view, to clarify this on Monday or Tuesday. We're now into Tuesday, and so these questions still keep coming. Media in South Africa are lying to South Africans, distorting facts, taking factual information from U.S. government websites and distorting it, and other people who profess to be lawyers and those in the know are misleading you and lying to you. So I am here to answer the top 10, no, now it's 14 questions that have been asked of me over the past several days regarding the refugee program in South Africa. I'm going to explain it as best I can. I won't have some of the answers because they simply do not exist. Also, I will caution you that this program is longstanding. The United States Refugee Admissions Program exists. It's in law, and the program is currently suspended. On the 20th of January, 2025, after President Trump was sworn in, he signed executive order which froze this program and suspended all refugee arrivals in the United States. Now, traditionally, the United States takes in anywhere from 30 to 50 to 100 to 150,000 refugees per year, depending on conflicts and events going around the world. And so I'm going to answer those questions as best I can. I'm not an attorney. I am not selling you anything. I'm not asking for anything. You don't have to give me a darn thing. You can listen to this video. You can tune it out. You can ignore it. That is your prerogative. What I'm here to do is to set the record straight as best as possible in the vacuum and dearth of information that currently exists because my government has not stepped up to the plate. Hopefully they'll do that soon. In expectation that the U.S. Embassy in Pretoria will eventually issue guidance, I'm going to tell you what we know about this. Okay, first off, the 14 most frequently asked questions about refugee status to come to America. First is, how do I apply for asylum? Well, why are you asking me about asylum? Let's be very clear about this. South African YouTubers, mainstream media, political parties are distorting and contorting the story here. Asylum is very different than refugee status. For asylum status, you have to have very specific requirements. So, according to the U.S. government, asylum is for the following. Every year, people come to the United States. Right, so there you go. So that's that one. So, yeah, I'd recommend that people watch the videos that I produce. It'd be very helpful. I mean, it's not that hard to find. You probably don't know better because you haven't been here, but now you know. That's just one, and I've produced at least 4 specific videos directly tied to questions about financial assistance, questions about, for instance, you have to pay for your ticket. You didn't know that. You don't have to pay when you leave, but you have to reimburse the International Organization of Migration. They typically start collecting that money from you 6 months after your arrival, and you can't ask for deferment if you're not doing well. So, also talk about all the money that's gifted to you by the American people, all the different support services for employment, for getting your documents and your qualifications translated into American English and American standards and all that stuff. That's all done. I've done multiple videos on that. That's under that section, so I'd encourage people to go watch that. Tino Kandasamy, welcome to you. That sounds almost Finnish. All right, so Stefan de Jager gave a 140 Rand super sticker. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Okay, Paul van Niekerk, good morning. My wife and I refuse to pay rates because we receive no service. There you go. Well, try that here. You'll go to jail. You'll go to jail. I guarantee it. President Trump should make it mandatory to teach money management. Yeah, look, Army 3275, this is one of my hobby horses. Americans are financially illiterate, and it irritates the hell out of me. Rich people don't tell you how to make money. Other people try to make money off of you. I've offered financial advice to soldiers throughout my career, but I don't tell them what to do with their money. I just tell them the risk, and I tell them you have to be smart. And I also tell them and show them the power of compounding. How if you put $100 a month away when you come into the Army as a private, and then when you get promoted, add a little bit more from your pay raise or put your whole pay raise in there after tax, keep doing that, you'll be a multimillionaire when you're 60, if not sooner, just by investing that money. Much sooner than that. So, well, to pay tax, 99 is not going to line pockets. Yep, mortgage on my home is 5.99. I hope to sell it this year and buy a new home. Hopefully I can keep my current rate. My FICO goes over 800. That's a very good credit score, by the way, Courtney. Shows that you're a responsible adult. Yeah, Biden really screwed our nation up. 6% is insane. And mine's 3.75%. And now it still took 9 years before I'm paying more, well, eight and a half years before I'm paying more in principal than I'm paying in interest every month. But the taxes went up. So until 2 months ago, I was paying more for taxes and insurance than I was in principal every month. That's just freaking insane. I'm a debt slave. Home ownership, I hate it. It's stupid. I should build my own freaking home on a piece of property. Then I still have to pay property taxes. And then because I build the home, they get to charge me more. It's stupid. Anyway, yeah. So, how many Afrikaners plan to move to the USA? Well, let me go to my Twitter account and see how many people. That was an interesting poll. The numbers there are lower than they have been on my show. So that's interesting. Let me go to my profile and find that poll. Okay, where's the poll at? I should pin the poll. Can you pin something on your Twitter account? I think you can do that. I need to do that. Where the hell's the poll at? I did the poll. Oh, by the way, I got to show you this too. This is the best video ever about Zelensky. Oh, here it is. So can I pin this? Pin your profile. There we go. Okay, so now the poll is at the top of my profile. So let's go back there. and I will show you that. Okay, so the poll, I don't care for these messages. Okay, there it is. So interestingly enough, I said I'm starting the poll rather late after Trump's executive order. Would you take up Trump on his offer for refugee status? When I do it here on the show, most nights, we usually get 800 to 2,500 responses. And of those, and I realize some people vote every night, but of those, so I'm not counting the cumulative, I'm just giving an idea of percentage. It's never been below 67% who want to come to America. When I started adding the question about 2 weeks ago or 10 days ago, or will you wait for information, that number creeped between 12 and 17%. On this poll, the wait for details is 25% because people are being influenced by fake media and by propaganda from the likes of Agri-SA, John Steenhuisen, the ANC, and all these people in South Africa who are telling you all this nonsense about refugee status and lying to you. So people are confused, and so they say, I'll wait for the details, which is prudent. I don't blame them. But it just shows you now a reticence of people afraid of being called out because they express interest in refugee status. No one should fear anything. But I've had almost 2,000 votes in the first day, 84 comments. Oh, God, my hip just started hurting. Damn it, hasn't bothered me all day. Yeah, so let me click on this. So I'll show you this poll, okay? Here you go. So that's the poll on my channel. I'll give you a link to it if you want to vote on it. So there it is. Would you take Trump up on his refugee status offer? Yes, 63%. No, 12%. I'll await details, 25%. So 87%, almost 88% of the people say yes. Well, 88% say I'm interested. Yep, 7,000 people viewed it, or 6,500, but only 1,900 voted on it. So that tells you something, too. People are afraid to vote. People are afraid to vote because they think you're going to be tracked, which is nonsense. Anyway, so, yeah, so I will give you the link to this if you want to go vote in it. Right now is 1,911 votes. Let's see if anybody from here votes in it. So here's the poll on my Twitter account. I can't pin it because I'm pinning that article that I already pinned up there. So there you go. If you want to check out and vote in that poll, you're welcome to do it. And the higher the number, the more information we have, at least anecdotally from poll, that people want to go. Okay, so your Van Afrikaners felt a little bit like a hiding, but you don't miss words. Well, Jean-Pierre Meyer was a bit of a hiding. It was a bit of hiding. If people take it that way, if they're insulted by it, then, I'm not going to apologize for it. I got people attacking me for, making mild videos. Well, you're not saying this, you're not saying that. So I just told people how it was. That's how it is. It's stupid to be attacking AfriForum and Solidarity. I'm saying they don't represent people. And it's also stupid to be attacking Neil Diamond and Agri-SA. Just ignore them. Well, they don't speak for me. Well, who said they spoke for you? Well, they said that. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Agri-SA did, but AfriForum and Solidarity didn't. You're not paying attention to what's said. You're reading News 24. You're watching ENCA. Would lie to you. Why do people believe that shit? I've got a video that's going to air into this program at 2 a.m., so 9 o'clock South Africa time, in which I exposed News 24's propaganda. Once again, I only took one story because I came up with like 9 of them. I'm like, this will take hours just to explain this. I showed one example. And is Arctic here? Because Arctic will know exactly what I'm talking about. He can prove that what I'm saying is correct. No, Jean, it wasn't meant to be a hiding, but it's people need, sometimes you need to smack upside the head and go, hey, stop fighting. Stop it. And Erna Froneman. That's why I'm hoping the refugee program starts, because the only assets is my flat. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how many are coming here, Courtney. I would say anecdotally right now, maybe 250,000 people are interested in this program. Anecdotally, based on what information, but there's so little information because the government has interfered with the public space. The ANC government talks about how it's undemocratic for AfriForum and for Solidarity to go to America and talk to the administration. It's perfectly legal, perfectly legit. There's nothing wrong with it. But why is the ANC interceding with the South African Chamber of Commerce to tell them not to disclose the number of people that have asked for information about this? Why, after 3 days, do they stop reporting it? That's not democratic. That's not transparent. That's illegitimate. Because they're terrified. But I'll bet you the South African government knows. And every time they denounce it and say that nobody's leaving, every time they're just denying the reality. Look, I don't want anybody to leave. But, I understand where you're coming from. Not my place to make a judgment for you. So we don't know. I'm guessing 250,000 now. But that could be low, could be high, could just be a fantasy. Okay. Watched Putin last night. Seems like he wants peace. Russia needs to turn their economy, so he's willing to make some deals. Yeah, what I said in this video that you will see coming up later on is that if Trump's clever, he'll call the Putin dude up now. Hey, Vlad, listen, this dipshit was here. He doesn't want peace. He's still pissed off. He's bumhurt at you. He's not letting go. I've done everything. I spent 2 hours talking to him. He agreed to sign an agreement to get the Americans involved in the Ukraine economy. We'll split the profits so they can pay back their loan with that. And then we'll be there. That way you won't attack because you don't dare attack American businesses and people in Ukraine. And then on top of that, I offered him lots of military aid as security to protect his country, and he basically decided to scupper the whole thing in front of the media and whine about his panties being on too tight. It was really sad. Listen, I have a plan here. I know your economy's in trouble. You want the war to end. Let's just do a ceasefire. Just declare a unilateral ceasefire. You'll just stop. Give orders to all your units to don't attack. Only in self-defense. Only when they've been attacked. Do it right now. We'll announce it. Russia's agreed to an immediate ceasefire. And they're willing to go to the negotiating table. And that'll just leave this jackass isolated. And there's nothing they can do about it. The frauds in the European Union and NATO, all pushing for war. Keir Starmer, Emmanuel Macron, the Polish Prime Minister, NATO, all of them be exposed for the frauds that they've been for the last 3 years. They're just warmongers. Look, I'm not letting you off the hook, Vlad. You started this shit, and now I got to clean it up. What do you say? Ceasefire? There you go. If Trump's clever, he's doing that. Yep. If he's smart. Any good books you can recommend to understand, adapt better life and culture in the USA? Tian, I don't read books about American life for the most part. I don't read a lot of fiction anymore. Oh, yeah, don't sign an arm. Yeah, that's good advice, Beth. I signed an arm. I knew what the deal was, but I figured I'm only there for 2 years. It shouldn't be a problem. I taught at Iowa State University. I signed an ARM, an adjustable rate mortgage, which means that you get a lower rate, and then they can raise it. But they're only supposed to raise it in conjunction with the prime lending rate. But banks are liars. So I had an ARM, and after 1 year, they raised the interest rate by a full percentage point, which cost me like an extra $250, $300 a month to pay for the interest on the existing loan, because that's how much it jumped up by 1 percentage point. I complained. I said, what the hell is this? The prime lending rate dropped. Why are you raising my rate? Well, because we can. No, it's supposed to be tied to prime. What are you going to do? I didn't have money to sell them. So fortunately, I only had the house for 2 years. I got rid of it, and I never bought another house again until I came to Pennsylvania 30 years later. Yep. My son had a stroke 3 years ago at the age of 29. He's in chronic epilepsy meds. He's disabled on his left side, but he can help himself. He's studying 3, and he said, well, we'll be separated. Tessa, I don't know the answer on that. I suspect, since you're his caregiver in your immediate family, I suspect. Don't get mad at me if this isn't the case, because I don't know. But I'm using common sense here. Because you're his caregiver, and he's studying at university, and because of that, you're probably allowed to apply for his refugee status, or he applies for it, and the case is made clearly that he needs to go with you. You both have to go. So I'm sorry, very unique circumstance, but not unusual, I'm sure. Yeah, there you go. Compounds at 5 years, then 7 years. That's crazy. That's Nicolette Matthias.com Queens. You voted. Thank you for voting. Okay. Hey, Charmaine, you already voted. AJ voted. Rolinda Engelbrecht. What's a good rugby team to watch? I've never watched it, but I always wanted to learn more about it. Well, okay, Army 3275. The thing is, you got to have some kind of access to it. Now, I don't know if you get Flow Sports in the Philippines. You can look and see FLO Sports. You can look for Flow Rugby. Look it up and see if you can get a subscription. I don't know if you use a VPN to get to tunnel into the States, because I noticed your super chat was in dollars. So that's a good site for watching rugby. Otherwise, I don't know what you can get in the Philippines. But in the States, it's Flow Rugby and NBC's Peacock. But that's only for certain things like the World Cup and the Six Nations Series. So what you're going to want to do is find something that interests you. So for me, I really enjoy South African rugby because it's really good. It's the best. And so the South African national side plays a couple times a year. They play in what is our summertime in the Northern Hemisphere, and they play also in the fall. So you're usually playing June, July, in August, September, and then they come back November and play November for another 3 or 4 games. October, November. So anyway, that's the national sides, and so you might want to be a fan of a national side. The U.S. team exists, but they usually play in the summertime, maybe in the fall, and they're up and down. Sometimes they're okay, sometimes they're terrible, but they're not nearly as good as South Africa. Then there's Ireland, lots of countries. So then you're going to want to pick a conference or sport you want to watch. My favorite is the United Rugby Championship, which is going on right now. In the Philippines, if you have Flow Rugby, you can get it from there. If not, you can go directly to the United Rugby Championship, URC. You just type in unitedrugby.com, and if you can stream it right from there and just sign up for it. They have packages, and you can watch all the games. You can pick a team. I'd recommend you pick a South African side, and of course, I'm biased, so I would say the Stormers. But the Bulls are also a good choice as well. And then you pick a team. Or you can pick a team from Ireland. Leinster is very popular. They're from Dublin. You've got Ulster from Belfast, and Connacht, and Munster, so from Limerick. So that's that. Then you have Italian teams, Benetton, and you've got from Treviso, and you've got the Zebra, they call them, Parma, Italy. So there's lots of choices out there, but I stick to the South African sides, although I root for some of the other teams. All right? The moment if you say you're pursuing refugee status, it puts on a target. Well, that is why, Estelle, I've told people to not tell anybody about it. Keep it to yourself. Don't talk to people about it. It's nobody's business. First off, it's just dumb. There is no refugee program. Why would you tell people you're taking it? Because you don't even know if you're qualified. You don't even know what the requirements are. Don't even know when it'll be available. So it's just a fantasy. If people ask me, like, refugee thing, I don't know anything about that. Does it even exist? That'd be my answer. Someone asked me on the street, "Hey, Chris, you gonna apply for that refugee program and move the states?" I'm like, I don't know anything about that. It's not even published. Why would I care about that? Boy, Courtney's got a lot of that drill money coming. $5 super chat. Thank you, Courtney. You're single-handedly keeping the super chats going tonight. Don't have X and I don't like social. That's fine, Dennis. Well, you can't vote, so it's not a shouldn't. You can't. If you don't have X, you can't vote. Because with Twitter, you can't go to anything unless you have an account. Obama's birth certificate is fake. He was never born, you say. Where are you getting that from? Fake news and what is this? Fake news and ANC doing everything they can to keep meat money bags and yeah, exactly. Doge cleaning up Social Security might also give states a chance to clear their voter rolls. Yeah, it probably would. Yep, SABC is also pushing for Reform to be arrested. Well, there's no basis for an arrest. They've committed no crime. No crime whatsoever. The ANC did things far more egregious, and they did far worse than what they're doing. They went abroad and lobbied countries to sanction and to harm South Africans, and they achieved it. And now they have the hypocrisy to complain because AfriForum and Solidarity are able to get an appointment with policymakers in D.C. while the South African government is so annoyed with the U.S. government that they can't get the time of day, let alone an Uber ride in D.C. So they can't get in to talk to the officials. These guys in civil society went in and said, hey, please don't sanction South Africa. Please don't remove us from AGOA. That'll hurt all South Africans. And that's treason? Fuck these idiots. I don't know what they're talking about. They're just racist. Social media being blocked. What's social media being blocked? Okay. Nico says go for the Springboks. People say they should stand up and fight, not run. Well, Mike, that's your opinion. But again, you can't speak for some people, and I can't speak for them either. I can't speak for you. That's your position. There you go. Cool beans. Yeah, the World Cup games would be cool to watch. You can watch them on Peacock on replay if they're still available. Pierre says all social media posts are being censored. By whom? On what platform? I'm getting nasty shit put on my comments on my videos, so it's nothing being censored on YouTube. Helen Zille called Trump crafty for trying to extract skilled workers. They are liberals with their own agenda. Yeah, Helen Zille, I didn't hear her say that. If she actually said that, she's being a deuce. Because Helen Zille is saying that, but then all the Afrikaners that don't want you to come are saying only the poor and useless and desperate are going. They'll get the dregs of Afrikaner society. That's what they're saying. So she's saying we're getting skilled people. They're both wrong. We'll get a mix of people from across the board. Useless people and talented people. Poor people and wealthy people. People that want to get out, that's who's going to come. And that runs across the spectrum of ages, genders, and wealth. What do you think of possibility of civil war develop? Well, I've answered that question, Alan, just again last night. I don't see it coming, but then I did predict it in 2021. So watch that foreign press release, and it came across as though they speak for every white person. Why would so many in that live chat have reacted so harshly? Okay, Chris, I don't understand your question. I got your point. You watched an AfriForum press release, and it came across as though they speak for every white person. Okay, got it. Why would so many in that live chat have reacted so harshly? What live chat? Are you talking about the press conference? You said press release. A press release is different than a press conference, from Chris. Are you talking about the AfriForum English language press conference from a few weeks ago? Is that what you're talking about? Why would people react negatively? Because people say stupid shit all the time. They don't listen. I listen to it. I have no dog in the fight. I don't need to leave South Africa. I don't need to come to America. I'm an American. I already won the lottery with my birth, and I've earned it. So I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't have, oh, this is important. This is important. No, I can look at it objectively. And I looked at it objectively. I listened to what they said. To me, they didn't say they were speaking for all of our Congress. They said they're speaking for the constituency, which is their 600,000 members, who by extension have as many as 2 million people that are represented by that, kids and so on, and elderly parents are taken care of. So that's what they said. And then I met them in person here in the States, another $1.99 from Brett this time. Well, only Americans are super chatting with their dollars. That's good news. Thanks for that, Brett. I'll get to it in a minute. So I interviewed them and I asked that question specifically, and they said, no, we don't speak for everyone else, and that's not what we're trying to say. So, I mean, look, you don't have to believe them. That's fine. That's why I said don't watch them if you don't believe them. Chris, I'm not sure what your point is. Are you saying the chat in their live broadcast? That's what I'm asking. But that was on Facebook. That Facebook is a domain of 12-year-old girls experiencing their first menses. Ooh, mommy, guess what? No, I don't care for it. And blue-haired Tannies who have nothing better to do than sit around on Facebook and complain about the weather. That's what Facebook is. It's a vile, repulsive platform that lost its relevance for me almost 20 years ago. I was one of the first people on Facebook using it as a grad student, postgraduate student, working on a master's degree program with Troy University. And we grad students went on there when it was only open university students to coordinate our projects and working together. But since then, it's become useless, and it's a censorship platform. I have accounts on there, but I don't accept any new people. If you try to friend me on Facebook, you'll get turned down. I don't care if you're my mother. Of course, if you're my mother and you try to friend me on Facebook, we got a problem because she passed away a few years ago. So anyway, my point is that I only use it because I have to. Xander says Jaco Kleinhans posted that they're working with U.S. officials. No, that is not what they said. See, that's fake news. That is not true, Xander. That is not what he said. And I will prove that right now. Oh, my goodness. Hang on, Xander. Hang on. That is not what he said. Unless he did a second post. I saw the post, which people were talking about, because I said it's unfortunate the way he worded it. He shouldn't have done that, in my view. But let me find it here. Okay? It was in English, so... Where's it at? There you go. I found it. This is from February 28th at 5:52 a.m. my time. There you go. That's the relevant portion you're talking about. Jaco Kleinhans says we're working on outcomes for this diplomatic dispute between South Africa and USA. We have a rotten government. The most important is the Trump recognition. We're working on outcomes. Are you interpreting that to mean they're working on outcomes of the U.S. government? No. They're trying to devise strategies. That's what they're talking about. Okay? He said our people must be protected. Then this is what you're talking about. Afrikaners who want to take up President Trump's offer for resettlement in the USA will soon be able to find out how it will work with our help. But it will, by all indications, have strictly defined requirements. So you are reading something that is not stated. They're claiming they're going to tell you what the requirements are. They have nothing to do with the requirements. But it will, by all indications, have strictly defined requirements. Well, the strictly defined requirements are a matter of public law. This isn't rocket science. I've told you this since February 7th when I broke this story in South Africa. And yes, I'm the one that broke it, despite claims of other people. Check the dates and the receipts on when the broadcasts were done. I was broadcasting at 2:30 a.m. your time, and 38,000 people showed up before I went on Gareth Cliff at 6 a.m. So that is not what happened there, Xander. I don't know where you're getting that from. Is there another post that I'm missing? That is not what is said there. Riots are coming. Yeah, that's a possibility. I can't wait to leave this cesspool behind. Okay. Xander, stick with me because I want to hear if I've got the right tweet that you're talking about. There's Arctic. Cool. Pierre Rousseau, my daughter and her husband went to Oudtshoorn and they refused to help them. Okay, Estelle, that's an anecdotal situation. Why were they refused? Was the computers not working? Were they told to go away because you're white? Were they nobody there? Are they lazy? I mean, that doesn't help. It's not a very informative thing. Internal affairs and notoriously slow. Exactly. That's just what they are. Chief War Negotiator. Thank you. Hey, Ria. Putin did say he's willing to do the rare minerals deal with Trump saw it on news, getting the popcorn ready. They're blocking. Believe me, it's all over. It's not just home affairs, social media. Change your IP with a VPN to America. What do you mean they're blocking? Okay, you haven't explained yourself, Pierre. What do you mean they're blocking? When you try to post on social media, is your account blocked? And is it happening on multiple platforms? Because it's not happening here. We see you chatting here. I'm not saying it's not happening, but we really can't address it if you don't tell us more information. Just making an allegation, I can't address that. It's just not possible for me to address an allegation if I don't have the facts. So I deal in facts as best I can. By the way, there's a premiere of a new video coming on in 2 hours. And this one talks about propaganda, the disinformation desk at News 24, which is exactly that, disinformation. It's comical for them to claim that they're the champions of exposing disinformation. Europeans are Zelensky's war egging him on. Yeah, that's right. You're right, Army. Two people who realize that Russia-Ukraine is a story of two wolves. This cock will never end. Exactly. Go see a chiropractor, some needles, and get your pelvic back in position. I had similar experience. My back is fine, Rainier. Thank you for that advice. I saw a physician, and it didn't really help a lot. Russia will probably want Transnistria before. Well, that's probably not an unreasonable expectation there, Holden. You might be on the money. Hey, Tessa, you're welcome. I know that's not an answer for you, but it's the best I can offer right now. Stefan, the pale African who is pigmentationally challenged, says waited 5 months for marriage certificate the day before he left. South Africa, my wife waited for home affairs until they closed, and she got a certificate. Yeah, that's just how inept they are. And while we hear Leon Schreiber talk about how much they've improved, they haven't. Lambert Colon says, let's talk about crime, you say. To what extent am I allowed to protect my family? Well, Lambert, that's a very open-ended question, which I can't possibly answer. I can tell you some general comments. I mean, many states have a stand your ground law. Someone invades your home, you can shoot them if your life's in jeopardy. Generally speaking, anywhere in America, anyone can intervene with deadly force to protect life, limb, or property. And you don't have to do it just for yourself. If you see someone about to be murdered, you have the right to use deadly force to stop that from happening. Generally speaking, I'm not a lawyer. But that's just the reality. That's just the norm. But many states have a stand your ground. Unfortunately, even stand your ground doesn't always work. That case in Missouri, the couple who were on their property and the Black Lives Matter people broke their gate and broke in their property and menacingly came up to their porch and threatened them. And the guy had a rifle or a handgun. He held it to the side. They were criminally charged by an activist black racist district attorney who put them in jail. They were able to get bail and get out, but they had to fight that. They eventually won the case, but their lives were turned upside down. Fortunately, they were wealthy, so they were able to do it, but unbelievable. And then they were pillared in the social media as if they're some kind of racist. Well, these racists broke into their property and threatened to burn their house down just because they could and because the police let them do it. Why Pennsylvania? I didn't choose to come to Pennsylvania. Well, if the VPN works fast enough. I mean, when I try to use VPN in South Africa, it's shit. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter which server I go to. It's not fast enough to stream. Why Pennsylvania? I didn't choose Pennsylvania, Willem. As I said many, many times, my last assignment on active duty in the Army was Director of African Studies at the Army War College. The Army War College happens to be located at one of the oldest military installations the U.S. government has, and that is in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. A British frontier fort established in 1754, if I remember correctly, or something like that, and taken over by the United States in the Revolution, and we've maintained ever since, except for a brief period of time when the U.S. Army turned it over to the Department of Interior, and they ran it as a native Indian school, which was stupid, and Jim Thorpe and others came here and studied. But that was about a 25-year period. Other than that, it's been a U.S. military installation since 1750s or thereabouts, 1757, 58, something like that. Anyway, they sent me there to be the Director of African Studies and teach as a postgraduate instructor, and I did. I retired, and I planned on moving to Bavaria, to Aschau am Chiemgau, or the Berchtesgaden area, and back to Skåneland, or to New Zealand, probably in the vicinity of Wellington. That was my plan. But all went to crap because of COVID scam, and I couldn't go anywhere. So here I'm still in Pennsylvania. Wasn't a choice. I did live in the state as a kid in Scranton, which is where Joe Biden claims he's from. I spent more time in Scranton than he did. I haven't seen the video, Pierre. Everyone, I need a chance to see the video. Why is he calling for militarization of the ANC? Because this guy wants trouble. He wants, it's just ridiculous. Love your video about Afrikaners. Typical, always know better. Sun not allowed to shine over others, and then the favorite, you'll be thrown out of the bus. Coming from an American. Mark Pretorius, welcome to you. Arctic says, because it's the ANC, old wigs are going to be dead in 10 years. Exactly. They have nothing to show for their struggle credentials. Nico Creel says, Starmers. Agreed. Brett says people need to stop blaming Trump in every forum. This is getting old. Well, it was old the moment it was first said, but I agree with you. We got Clard on for digging a hole in white sand and using a tent floor to make a swimming pool. Huh? Thanks for the rugby information. Yeah, always we use VPN so I can get American apps. Okay, cool. Cool. But in Philippines, you might be able to get United Rugby, which is a good deal. But you only get United Rugby. With Flow Rugby, you get, like today, European Rugby, I could have watched the Netherlands and Germany play. But, there's also college stuff on there, and there's other leagues like the Super Rugby Down Under. Courtney with another super chat. Move to Utah, lots of open space for Connors. Yeah, and lots of Mormons. If you're okay with that, it's fine. Yeah, $90 a year. But if you get Flow Sports, it's $150. So you get everything. You can get badminton, pickleball, tennis, everything under the sun. I don't watch that stuff. Okay. Doge on so-called strong credentials. The world would double over. Bruce says, we're definitely applying for refugee status. Let's hope and pray it happens. Okay. Gregory McGregor, South Africa versus Georgia, 19th July, Nelspruit. No, probably not, Jeffrey, because I'll probably be April and May there, and coming back in July is going to be a bridge too far. Now, if my channel keeps growing and I keep getting ad revenue, yeah, I'll come back in July, and I'd love to come to Nelspruit for that game. I would love to come for that test. I would absolutely love to, but I'm going to have to get some coin, and people watching videos is making the coin. The advertising in February was more. I made more in advertising in February than I've made in 5 years of broadcasting on this or any of the other channels. Yeah. Now, they're going to take a third of that, and then the government's going to take half of that. But yeah, I mean, if it keeps improving, I get 100,000 subscribers and 150, 200,000, and people watching all my videos at the rate they've been watching them now, then I'll be making money off advertising, and I'll be able to fund these trips and be able to take more of these trips. I would love to come to Nelspruit for that game. I would love to. I haven't been to Nelspruit since 2000 or 2001, I think. Yep. Yeah, so thank you for that. And Georgia will be awesome. I love watching Georgia. They're interesting. Ernst and Tucker tomorrow. That's correct. 9 a.m. our time, I believe. Yes, and Ernst is going to announce his future. Oh, this is a sweater. It's a pullover. She described Zelensky as gutsy. Well, that just shows you where Helen Zilla's head is. Zelensky is a fraud. The born frees don't feel the need to fight for a country our grandfathers gave up. Well, that's a good point there, Mr. Sergeant Duck. We should stop calling X Twitter. Then I hear Twitter. It reminds me of the leftist censor culture. Well, I don't really care for calling it X. It sounds like some soft porn channel. It's like I'm watching OnlyFans. You're an American IP colonel. They're censoring South Africans on X, YouTube, and Facebook. Only left media. Well, Pierre, you're the only person telling me that. That's why I'm asking. Okay, but so gotcha. But who is censoring it? X isn't censoring you. So are you saying that someone's interfering and intercepting your communications to the Elon Musk owned X platform? That's curious. That's curious. Dr. Clue, there is no refugee program. Duh. You're correct. Not yet. There's no program. Thoughts on Trump's Canada policy? I think Trump is spot on. Canada is on a full court press. Every time I turn on my Roku player, I'm getting adverts from Ontario. Your friends to the north. Our relationship is strong and prosperous. We've been at this for 220 years. Canada and the United States. Ontario, where your cars come from, and your maple syrup. Shut up. And all these advertisements all the time. Must be paying a fortune for that nonsense, wasting Canadian taxpayers' money. It isn't going to change anybody's mind south of the border. And now the Wall Street Journal is carrying the water for them, going, oh, and the New York Times, oh, the Canadians, there are no refugees coming in from Canada. There are no people coming across the border. That's bullshit. We've had a border agent killed in Vermont last month before Trump became the president. So stop your lying and gaslighting, New York Times. They seem to forget in 2001, we caught terrorists coming across the border from Vancouver on the way to Seattle with car bombs. We caught them. They forgot about that. I haven't, because I worked counterterrorism. Yes, Merritt, we just mentioned it's tomorrow. He's talking about the new investigation of the Obama burst, see if British-American experts have proven it was forged. I have no idea what that is, Army. I'm not going to get into that swamp and because it's just a distraction. I don't give a shit because it doesn't change anything. If he was a Manchurian candidate, he pulled it off. Nothing we can do about it. We're not going to put him in prison. You don't like time? Cancel your Netflix subscription. That's where his money comes from. Let's focus on cutting the budget. Let's focus on kicking criminals out of our country. Let's focus on kicking fake females out of sports. Let's focus on kicking the nonsense down the road, ending conflicts, and restoring justice to this country. Let's do that. That should be our focus. This Epstein Island thing, I don't really give a crap about that either. It's done. It's dusted. None of those girls are minors anymore. And if they don't want to come forward and file a case, then there's not much we can do about it. I mean, it might be interesting to talk about, but nothing's going to come of it. His birth certificate. Candace Owens is digging. Well, Candace Owens is not trustworthy. She's in it for herself and her money and her fame. So, I don't really care what she has to say. As their press release on YouTube, it came across as Collie Creel having to speak for whites. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Chris Ehlers, but okay, fine. They're speaking for whites. Great. What now? What now? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to complain to Trump? Do you think they're telling Trump not to do the program? I'm not picking on you, Chris, but I mean, so what? Let's just assume that's their program. That's their agenda. So what? At least they're in Washington. Are you in Washington talking to somebody to get something changed? No. So people can bitch all they want about solidarity and AfReform. I don't give a shit anymore. I'm tired of talking about the topic. Ariel says, we appreciate it. Thank you for your service. You're very welcome, Ariel. But I mean, seriously, it's a moot point. What's the point? So you choose to believe the propaganda coming from News 24, the ANC, Fikile Mabalula, Gwede Mantashe, John Steenhuisen, all these government operatives. You choose to believe them over what the people say. That I can't change that. I can't change that. You can't touch this. Can't touch this. My music is my. Sorry, little MC Hammer there. Facebook is crap. Yep, I only use it for a couple things. Yep. Courtney McBride, Department of Commerce taking over the Postal Service. Well, yes, Courtney, that is correct. That's the plan. I think it's a good idea. Watching the Trump debacle, the frequency of ads was insane. Using ads to try to... Well, I downloaded the whole thing. I have the data, so I downloaded the whole interview. We've got it. We can watch it all again if you want. Majority is still on it. Okay, what is Facebook? Oh, my goodness. Chris, this is ANC is dumb. They will be arrested, but the president said Zuma's daughter was given free bail, so let's see ANC equal justice. Yeah. No, look, Monterey, look, when the AfReform people are back in South Africa, if they're issued arrest warrants or arrested, wait till you see what Donald Trump does. You really think that a guest at the White House that gets treated so shabbily and he won't take action? You can say goodbye to go and you can get targeted sanctions against the Minister of Justice and so on. You watch. You watch. I don't want to dare him because it's other people's lives, but you watch what happens. You watch what happens. How is Andile Schema still MP? Yes, he is evil, Brett. 100%. Thank you, Chris, for all. But it's because it's a corrupt system. You don't vote for the members of parliament. A party gets it. They get votes and they pick who goes in there. It's corrupt. For all you do, Yaku's tweet, hope this is comment, strictly defined requirements is not made stricter via his lobbying. No, why would you assume that? Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. AfReform will have no impact whatsoever on the requirements for the program. None. Why do people think they have that kind of power? You people fall for the media. So they got an office call. They talk to people who are sympathetic to their cause. Have you seen anything come out since they've been there? They met with people this past week. It's already Sunday. What tangible substantive changes come as a consequence of them visiting people in Washington, D.C., other than people losing their minds in the media in South Africa? What? Donald Trump did a tweet about this because Democrats and Republicans in the House approached him on February 4th. He did a tweet, social media, True Social. And 3 days later, he issued the executive order. Well, it's been 3 days since AfReform Solidarity have been here. Nothing's happened. So I see this petition to charge AfReform with treason. Herman Mashaba supports it. Of course Herman Mashaba supports it. He's got a serious... I think Herman Mashaba is in that commercial that used to be here in the States, for Medic Alert. Help, I've fallen and can't get up. He fell on his head. He couldn't get up. Something happened to Herman Mashaba. 8,000 signatures. Yeah, the people know the truth. The ANC will be done soon. Yeah, AfReform has 600,000 members. You have 8,100 probably fake accounts and a fair number of deep mentally disturbed racists that have signed that. Yell Tapper. See, that's the real truth of the matter. That's why I started the poll, folks. It's not scientific. I'm not a polling agency, but I'm telling you, 1911, now it's 1947, and this poll shows you that of the 6,600 people that went and actually looked at the poll, 1,947 actually voted in the poll, Probably others are afraid they're going to be exposed because Afrikaners are unbelievably paranoid about everything. But 88% of the people either will go if they can or are awaiting details. But you're not going to get that from the media in South Africa or the government in South Africa because they're terrified of telling the truth because it's something they're not accustomed to. Yell Tapper, welcome to you. John Dreyer says, I'm 42 years old this year and I have 20 years experience in construction. I apply for about 5 jobs every day and still can't get a job. I don't doubt it. I understand, John, 100%, and I empathize with you. I'll tell you this much. You won't have to look for a construction job here. I drove down on Thursday or Wednesday down to Maryland. I got to Maryland on Wednesday, and I saw a brand new development of hundreds of houses in what had been a cornfield my entire life of 60 years, 59 again this year, that has been a farm field. And suddenly it's full of McMansions and big development houses. And that all got built since the last time I was down there several months ago. So lots of construction going on here. And every time I turn around, they're putting freaking houses up around here. The traffic and the roads are a nightmare here because people are shitty urban planners. And don't say you know what you're talking about, Chris, because I have master's degree work in urban planning, community and regional planning. And see, look, guys, people don't know anything about me. You know, they think they know stuff about me. They run their mouths. But you know, my postgraduate work is in all kinds of things. I have postgraduate work in cultural anthropology, in international political economy, in community and regional planning, in strategic studies, international relations, all postgraduate work, published author in multiple fields, you know. So, yep. And when I did my first master's program, my thesis was on the housing subsidy program the ANC proposed when they came to power. And I wrote that in 1995, 96. GB, welcome to you. Consequences for poking the bear. Yeah, well, it's going to be painful. Look what happened to Zelensky. A bit off topic, I polled one of South Africa's propaganda machine politics 8-4 hours in 33 days. How are they able to deliver quality content? They can't. But then you can make the same argument to me. I've done over 100 videos in the last month and a half. How am I able to do it? Well, because the videos, I know the data. I know the answers. Rarely do I have to look it up. It's already here. I've already analyzed these things. I've already planned on doing a lot of these topics. And when the news breaks, I can adjust and react to it. I just have to verify some facts and give my analysis. And you'll see that my analysis is consistently pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Like right now, I noticed that other people are stealing my thesis. I noticed that one of the major news sites yesterday put a video up saying, Ramaphosa wants sanctions. Well, who said that first? I did. You heard me on Biz News say it. And I said it before that, but Biz News liked it and used the title. I said Ramaphosa wants sanctions. Yep, he wants to play the martyr. And now other people are glomming onto that. So whether I'm right or not, we'll see. Anyway, that's Bram says that's one other problem. Some only listen to what they think is enough, and then they work it out as they go. Exactly. That happens all the time. Okay, which Home Affairs office? I don't know. What is your government planning to do with Google? Nothing. What are you talking about? I'm flying back to America March 10th. I'll be there for about 3 months. Military union. I'm helping my parents with some things around home. Whereabouts? Army never told me. I don't think he told me. Accounts on X are being reported as spam and bots. Then account is dormant until reinstatement. Oh, well, that's not censorship. That's people falsely reporting you, and X is acting inappropriately. What you should do is contact X and tell them that they're targeting you. Yep. News 24, 100,000 paying subscribers. Stop giving them airtime. Well, are you telling me or are you telling the audience? Because I have to give them airtime, so I have to expose them. Because people are reading it. Until people stop reading it, people stop paying attention to Koos Becker's empire, someone has to tell the truth and expose it. And that's what I do. And not just them. I have to shoot a warning shot first. Where, Dorothea? We have 50 states and 4 territories. Where are you making the claim for that? Henri Ellers has stopped his subscription to News 24. My X account gets blocked at least twice a week, and I'm only sharing your content. You tag a lot of American officials. Okay. Well, create a new account. Create an anonymous account. I have multiple Twitter accounts. Bunch of them. People don't even know they're mine. You can create an anonymous account. I barely use them, but I have them as a backup. Yep. Let me go to my Twitter account. Let me see. On this phone, I've got, I think, 3 that I can access right now, but I have more than that. But I don't like Twitter. It's a cesspool. I've never liked it. It's not a good place to do stuff. So here's my main account. Let me see. On this phone, I have 3 or is it 4? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Twitter accounts. 5 Twitter accounts. Yep. So there you go. Scattered or stuck in home affairs. Hey, Joe Neiman, what's going on, man? How you doing? You're asking Chris Ehlers if he understands Pennsylvania spoke German. I understand Pennsylvania Dutch, but they understand me better than I understand them. Okay. How can we get the older folks to switch to alternative media? Well, it's how can you get older people to do anything, man? I don't have an answer for you here. Just sit with them, explain it, show that it's easy. Henny Kempfer, I just had a guy yesterday who's a social member of our veterans organization. He asked me about my channel. I said how it's grown the past month. He goes, yeah, I just got a new job working for JB Hunt. He's a truck driver. He's making, I don't know, probably $80,000 or more a year driving truck. He just started there. And they hired him. And he wants to listen to the show when he's on the road. So he didn't know how to use it. So I showed him on YouTube. I set it up for him. Piece of cake. Now he's watching the show. Jean-Luc Gibson. Okay. CC, welcome to you. 4 days in electricity. Damn. I'm broke to donate. No, okay, but want to say thanks for eliminating my ignorance of what is going on and opening my eyes and mind to all this. Your approach to this is thought-provoking. Well, thank you, Jean-Luc. That's why I'm a target, because I expect people to think intellectually and to challenge assumptions. Doesn't mean you don't believe anything, but you challenge assumptions. So Jean-Luc Gibson, you don't have to donate anything. I'm not asking anybody to give super chats except the richy riches in the crowd. The people who got tons of money, you billionaires sitting out there, start coughing it up. No, look, if you don't have money, it's not expected. I didn't do this to make money, although I'm going to need more money to do more travel. If people want me to come travel, I'm going to need more money, but that's... The adverts are doing it. You watch the adverts. That doesn't cost you anything except your time. You can leave it running in the background when you go to the loo or you're cooking dinner. Let the ads run, and that generates revenue. So, yeah, if you don't have money, I've always told people I didn't intend to monetize this channel. The original people here, they'll tell you. I don't see Nick here tonight. Nick said they demanded. They kept harassing me. Oh, please monetize your channel. Please monetize your channel. Back in 2020, so I finally did. And yep. And then I had a policy for a long time. I wouldn't monetize any video that was shorter than 5 minutes. Because I didn't like when I watched somebody's content. It was like a minute-long video. I had to sit through multiple ads. It was annoying. But Byron Shepard, when I was in PE in 2023, said, listen, man, you're not getting a lot of views on your videos because you're not monetizing them. I said, what do you mean? YouTube's not going to approach your content if they aren't going to make any money off of it. And I said, well, that's a fair point. So I started monetizing all my videos because of that. And the other piece is because YouTube sent an announcement out last year and said, effective this date, we will monetize any video we want. And if you don't monetize it, they get 100% of the revenue. So in order to keep them from getting all the money, I just monetize it. So apologize for the ads, but it does pay the freight. And as you can see, I showed you my cable bill, $302. That's 6,000 Rand this month for internet. And that's just a regular charge. So got to pay the bills. F-Form was only there for what they want. People think that Donald Trump doesn't know. We're not all members. Yeah, Donald Trump does know, exactly. Idaho has tremendous roadless wilderness area. Look up Hell's Canyon. Yeah, well, that's the one. Well, Snake River Canyon is pretty deep, too. Yep, Chris says, no one in the right mind will arrest Afterform. Which law has been breached? Not a single one. Not a single one. Just idiots running their mouths. Chris, I know what video some was talking about. I'll send you a link. Thank you, Brem. Okay. I bet SARS will be at the Afterform offices Monday. Probably. They probably will. That's how they go after them to see if they're paying their taxes. Yep. Delegation for Afterform Saudi did not speak against the refugee offer. They actually thanked the White House. Exactly. Thank you, Estelle. That's exactly what they did. And if you watch my video, Yaku Kleinhun says exactly that. Yep. Steve concert was good. The highlight for me was when Dreekus showed face towards the end of the concert. Dreekus was there? Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. My opinion is as soon as the Russian issues South Africa next. I think you are right, Reg Dodd. As soon as the Russia-Ukraine issue is sorted to Trump's satisfaction, Cyril Ramaphosa and the ANC find themselves in the docket. Afterform Solidarity did not have a mandate to go and speak for the people. They spoke on behalf of the Afrikaners, not Afrikaners members organizations. And they didn't claim they had a mandate. They said they spoke for their 600,000 members. In my opinion, there are a few hotshots who are making money out of the problem. Guys, in my opinion, that's the reason why they want Afrikaners to stay. Well, if you watch my video, MMR, you will see that I said that. That video, which was published earlier this evening, early morning for you guys, let's see how it's doing. Videos. Okay. Afrikaner's worst enemy is not whom you think it is. That one has just 3,000. Is that right? 11,700 views. Well, I published that 4 hours ago. 11,700 views, 39 new subscribers. Yep. Afrikaner's worst enemy. It's not who you think it is. If you watch my content, you'll find lots of interesting things. Good Lord, I can't skip these ads. See, I'm stuck with them too, folks. Welcome back. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania. One thing that's become painfully obvious over the past several years, but become poignantly obvious since the 7 February 2025 executive order offered by President Donald Trump to offer refugee status to Afrikaners who are suffering racial oppression in South Africa. There's one thing about the Afrikaner community that's very clear, and it's always been the case. It goes back many, many years, if not much, or perhaps even the entire history of the so-called Afrikaner ethnic group. And what is that? Division, competition, arguing, spats, disputes. That's long been the case. Many Trek board columns were wiped out because of arrogant asshat leaders who decided to do their own thing and left their oxen trains vulnerable to attack by the Ndebele and others. The history of the Afrikaans people, an identity forged from Dutch, French Huguenot, German, with an admixture of some African folks occasionally over time. This group of people has a long history, a long, proud tradition, but also one of dissension, argument, and people going their own way and taking their toys and their pram when they're not happy. Now, that's not meant as an insult. So I did that earlier. And in that, I talk that there are people, I said, why do you want them to stay? Because you're making money off of them? Yep. So, yeah, I've said that. MMR, I did that video. So your question's prescient, although I've already published it. 495 Rand for uncapped. Can't get that here. Didn't know Neil Diamond. Okay. Zelensky tricked Trump to use the meeting for his own propaganda purposes. Well, you say that, Michael Marks, but it didn't go well for Zelensky. Trump was patient for 39 minutes, and then it all went sideways. And I love the last part that goes, well, I let this run so people can see what's really going on here. It worked very well for Trump. Raina says, tell me, if I qualified to come to the U.S. under refugee status, could my 10-year-ago ex-wife sue me for more maintenance? Nope. You're funny. ANC is trying to get the spotlight away from them. Exactly. That's why they keep talking up Afroforum Solidarity while they are behind the backs dicking with the budget. By the way, they've got a new plan. They want to raise the VAT by 0.75%. Watch the DA roll over and accept it. Ria's in Afrikaans speaking. I don't understand one bit of Amish. There is no such thing as Amish. It's Pennsylvania Dutch, which is really just Pennsylvania Deutsch. And it's 17th century German that hasn't really changed much. Funny incident, my family that moved to the Netherlands, they forgot to collect their dustbin after they emptied it. Next morning, police at the door with a warning. That is a nanny state. We don't get that here. If you don't collect your dustbin here, people look at you funny, but no one's gonna come threaten you. That's a police state. Kara and the world is up topsy-turvy indeed. Jocko was one of Newsroom Africa's last night. I didn't see that Newsroom Africa. F-Reform is doing what ANC did during apartheid, went to the world to stop destructive governance. There you go. XRPG, correct. Gameplay 8 hours to Dubai. 12. Okay. Andres Vessels. Thank you for your first super chat. $5. Thank you for that. Wow. Cool beans. Chrisception. What's that? We have met the enemy and it is us. Free ad blocker plus. Amazing Yacht Destinations. Thank you for providing us with accurate information as far as possible. Supporting you because I can get the truth, not politically BS. Well, you're welcome. Thank you for the Thai bot. Amazing Yacht Destinations. I really appreciate it. When I was in France in the Côte d'Azur for the World Cup, I went along the coast and I went to this one beautiful town down there. And I went and these huge super yachts were there from Seattle and from New York and these obviously multimillionaires all the way over there in France. Must be nice. I'm a law enforcement officer in Cape Town. Come back here. I see daily how the country is deteriorating and how sadly even the officers are becoming more and more biased towards Afrikaners. I don't doubt that at all. And if you're in the Western Cape and you're seeing that, just imagine what it's like in Limpopo. MMR says, thank you for the extra info. You're very welcome. I have premium, so ads don't bug me, but your video this morning is great. I'm an Afrikaner, and since I've been here, Been here, all I see is division. Morgan Van Dyke, thank you for that. As a premium member, I get a few cents for everything you watch because I get membership from premium. Let me see. Let me take a look real quick. Analytics, like this month. Come on, YouTube. Okay, it used to show me. It doesn't show me anymore. I'll be darned. It used to be on here too to tell me how much money I would make off of premium. Oh, there it is. I made, wow. Really? I made some good coin off of the premium last month. I never make much money at all off premium. Wow. So a lot of you got premium apparently. That's cool. All right. I didn't know it was that much. Good night, Beth. Take care. Andres, hi there from Boise, Idaho, originally from Free State. A lot of building out this way. See many built by BlackRock. What's your take on them? BlackRock doesn't build anything. What are you talking about? BlackRock is an investment company. So what do you mean built by BlackRock? Maybe financed by BlackRock, but they don't build anything. They're not a construction company, unless there's a company called BlackRock, but it's not the BlackRock you're talking about. I know because they recruited me to work for them in Manhattan, and I decided not to do it. I actually went to their building, met with them, was interviewed by them. Yep, nope. Looked at their incoming intake program, and I wasn't interested. That's where I got a little arrogant of myself. I'm a colonel. I'm not going to come here at the bottom level with you guys. You're going to bring me in as a mid-level or a senior level guy, or I'm not coming in. Anyway, no, BlackRock is just an investment company. People keep attributing evil things to it. It's just ridiculous. No one says the same thing about Vanguard. Vanguard's a big investment company. It's no different. So I don't know what this obsession with BlackRock is. It's like, the gold standard and gold and all these conspiracy theories. People need to relax, do your research, and find out what BlackRock is. Not you, but I'm saying people. Thank you, Digital Sparky. Appreciate that. And that was from, who was that one from? Oh, that was from Andres. Ernst Cuthbert, welcome back. Dr. Clue. Gideon Ruiz, I mentioned this in a comment to this morning's video. Our entire history as a people has been leaving places where people wanted to dictate how we live and what we should be. That's true. Whether it was Europe, the French Huguenots. But teachers have been one of 9 years in this country. Teachers, especially in white African schools, actually all schools, it's heartbreaking how badly we're being treated. Frank Ken Bat 333. I have friends that are teachers in South Africa, and I know exactly what you're going through. I hear about it every day. Whoops. We reserve one of our community centers on Fort Stewart. Okay, cool. I have been to Fort Stewart. Well, it's a 24th ID. They renamed it the 3rd Infantry Division. 3rd Infantry Division to me is in Würzburg. Johannes van de Westhuizen, thank you for your subscription. Yeah, it was the home of the 24th. It is the 3rd Infantry Division now. It's been reflagged. Been to Fort Stewart. Didn't impress me. I prefer Hunter Army Airfield. Much nicer. If you understand Black Rick, you know who rules this world. Well, yeah, not me. Look at some of the food price. I'm sorry to say that is already upped. Afrikaners' best trait is also their worst. Very strong personalities and leadership skills, but also comes with hard-headedness and refusal to listen to those around you. Breaks my heart that isn't spoken of, but no one is helping or standing up for us. For the teachers, yeah, I think you're right. I don't see any advocates talking about what's happening to teachers in South Africa, especially Afrikaans teachers. Many people are scared about what will become of those who stay if others leave, or if they might see it as betrayal of your people. Well, Karen, I mean, don't worry about it. Just keep it to yourself. That's their problem. I mean, after the Anglo-Boer War, a lot of Afrikaners went to Argentina and Kenya. Afrikaners stayed behind, rebuilt the community. And your community in 1902 must have been something like 100,000 max. Look at you now, 2.8 million. Stop having babies. Have more babies. So Afrikaans culture will survive in South Africa. Just those who leave, it won't. Johan Rudolph, good morning. You don't hold the cards. Good morning. I can probably look this up on the internet, but do you still have VAT in the USA? No, we've never had VAT. There's no still. We never had it. There's no such thing as value-added tax in America. States have their own sales tax. Some have them, some don't. Pennsylvania has sales tax, but when you buy food, there's no sales tax on it. When you buy clothing, no sales tax on it. Hence, we have a lot of outlet malls just across the border from New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Ohio. People come across the border and buy clothing in our stores and pay no sales tax. It's a good deal. Some states don't charge sales tax on books. Some charge sales tax on everything. Some states charge property tax on items. You buy a car, you pay a property tax on it. In Washington State, 10%. Ouch. Every year you have to pay that same fee, 10% of the value of the car. It's terrible. Population numbers have been on the decrease for years due to immigration and us not having kids we can't afford. Refugee offer may change numbers by a few. Just come back from week in, I don't know where that's at, busy building a huge super yacht. Wow, cool. Only way block YouTube ads is to run Firefox with uBlock, which now needs a short path. Okay, I'll catch up here. Morgan Van Dyke. Freya Menzel's here. Welcome to you. I figured out it was out of hand and not related. Just saw BlackRock Construction and folks said it was part of a global. It's because they don't know what they're talking about. BlackRock, unless it's bought a construction company and is actively doing it, that's news. Why would they do that? They're invested in everything under the sun. Why would they take the time to have a construction company? Gideon moved to Japan several years ago. Now live here in peace and quiet. It's amazing the lack of hatred and casual racism and fear of crime does to your. Gideon, that's interesting you say that, but I've been to Japan, and it's not exactly all kisses and hugs, you know. There's a lot of antipathy towards foreigners, particularly in places where there's a lot of foreigners like Yokohama. You get a lot of bigotry if you're not Japanese. There's a lot of things you don't get invited to if you're not Japanese. Japanese are very insular. Good people, interesting people, fascinating place, a lot of hottie women, but, too many damn people, too tightly packed and too narrow a space. Whew. I enjoyed it, but I couldn't live there. I could live there short term and not long term. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yes, Donald Trump is a poker player. My father's the 24th, Station Hunter, to home of the 1st Ranger Bat. Yep. Special Operations. Yep. All right. What else we got here? Savannah for 5 years, Station Hunter. Went from Stewart to... Okay, cool. Did you see the secret biolab building in deep China that spells out antibody from Google? No, I didn't see that. My brother wanted a big family, left Australia and had 5 non-speaking Afrikaans. That's what happens. The culture just dies. It's rare that it survives unless people come in groups or they come individually and coalesce as a group when they get here with part of a plan, like the Amish or the old Spanish families that have been in Southern California, in New Mexico, and Arizona, and parts of Texas for 500 years. That's different. Best investment ever paying for... I missed the sumo. I didn't buy sumo tickets. I could have been in the championship. But I went to the World Cup. I could have seen the sumo wrestling. I missed it. Best investment ever paying for a YouTube Premium. Only watch what I want to watch and do not get pushed something else. There you go. If KFC in South Africa had a 5% luxury tax, South Africa would be the richest country. Did you just use tightly packed and Japanese women in the same sentence? I think I did, Slippery Pickle. Very true, but I found that if you make an honest effort to understand them, learn language, and show sincere appreciation... Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. What was Zelensky's comment about you got an ocean between... Oh, he was saying you got a lovely ocean here. You don't have to worry about all the problems that we have to worry about. You know, the Russians can't attack you, basically. That's what he was getting at, which is a true statement. But anyway, so let me pull up that video from last night. We'll watch that again together since I've gotten through the chat finally. Okay. There was some news I want to get to. Let me do that really quick at first before I do the Zelensky thing. So, News 24 has launched a disinformation. That's what my video is coming out at the top of the hour. Disinformation desk to debunk fake news. That's like the pot calling the kettle black. It's so funny. The top military commander of Syria's Al-Qaeda affiliate has been taken out. Yep, in an airstrike. Terrorist group recently admitted to taking orders from the General Command of Al-Qaeda. Yep. Footage from U.S. Central Command target operation in northwest Syria on the 23rd of February. U.S. military said it has taken out the top military leader in an Al-Qaeda affiliate terrorist group in Syria. U.S. Central Command revealed that on February 23rd, its forces, part of an international coalition against ISIS, conducted a precision airstrike targeting killing the senior military commander of the terrorist group, Huras al-Din. Wow. 12 seconds of the video is available. Well, this is the company that says that they're not going to provide oil to the United States submarines. From Norway, Haltbach Bunkers, an oil and shipping company that supplies a range of fuel products, lubricants, disinfectants for aquaculture, and dispersants for oil spills. We deliver along the entire Norwegian coast. Well, they say they're not going to service U.S. submarines. Fine. Our submarines are nuclear powered. You keep your oil. We'll buy our disinfectant from Home Depot. Well, Zelensky's visit went very sideways, and here's a little take on it from the New York Times. The question hovering over Washington was whether the confrontation was a spontaneous outburst or planned verbal smackdown. No, it was spontaneous. Zelensky decided to open his mouth up. Trump was trying to end the meeting, and he opened his mouth and got stupid. He got stupid. Here's 5 takeaways according to the Epoch Times. First off, they say that Zelensky pushes for arms and security guarantees. Exactly. And then Zelensky says no compromises, refuses ceasefire on Trump's terms. Okay. So the argument breaks out as Zelensky confronts Vance. See, Zelensky started, not Trump. So how was it a setup? Trump and Vance say Zelensky lacks leverage. He does. He doesn't have any cards. And Trump threatens to pull U.S. support. He says, if you don't sign the deal, we're done. We're out. So that's the bottom line. Yep. 3,000 more U.S. troops moved to the southern border. The latest reinforcement, 9,000 U.S. troops are stationed along the U.S.-Mexico border, according to the Northern Command. In a statement on Saturday, the Pentagon said Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth had ordered deployment of elements of the Stryker Brigade Combat Team and Combat Aviation Support Battalion to join U.S. troops already deployed along the U.S.-Mexican border. Doesn't say which Stryker Battalion. Oh, there it is. From Fort Carson. Yep, 2,400 soldiers from the 2nd Stryker Brigade. There you go. Some additional soldiers from the 19th Public Affairs Detachment Fort Riley will also be sent to the mission to do their news. Andrew Cuomo, the disgraced sexer from the governor's office who resigned in shame, now says he wants to run New York City. Former Governor Andrew Cuomo resigned in disgrace more than 3 years ago, announced his return to politics and started with a bid to New York City's next mayor. The 67-year-old launched his comeback effort with a video that acknowledged past errors without providing details. I did make mistakes, some painfully, definitely, and I believe I learned from them, and then I'm a better person. Oh, shut up. You got people killed by the thousands by putting them in nursing homes with COVID, you criminal. Why don't you wear a suit? A right-wing news outlet with coveted access questions Zelensky. After the White House began to handpick pool reporters, Brian Glenn of conservative Real America's Voice Network, never heard of it, got to be front and center for the Ukrainian president's visit. So this asshat gets to go to the White House, and I haven't even heard from these pricks yet. A voice from the press section joined the chorus of people demanding answers from President Zelensky. Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level of this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit? Just want to see if you own a suit. A lot of Americans have problems with you not respecting the office. Well, I have a lot of problems with this guy. He's being an asshat. And that's who gets access to the White House. You know, the alternative media. Well, real journalists like me, not this clown, would never have asked such an asinine question like that. I would have said, what's the holdup? Why are you unwilling to sign the agreement? A ceasefire, if it's broken, then President Trump will likely punish Russia. So what do you have to lose? Well, they've broken it many times. So what? Trump wasn't here. The promise wasn't made to Trump. It was made to Angela Merkel. She's not even in government. It was made to Emmanuel Macron. He's a wuss. And it was made to you, a corrupt leader. I wouldn't have said that. But anyway. Questions came from Brian Glenn, a correspondent for Real America's Voice, a right-wing cable channel that spread conspiracy theories about non-citizen voting and helped distribute Bannon's War Room podcast after he was barred from YouTube. Anyway, they were selected to take a secondary TV role, and they whined that the AP is not allowed to be there. Well, whatever. See, I was one of the first people to apply for that. I have the digits, I have the screen capture, and I've never heard one thing from them. Not an email, not a phone call. The whole thing was a scam. This is all to get Trump's friends into the press room. You know, that's the bottom line. The Cleveland story, I'll save that. And, okay. Oh, the first black leader of Virginia Military Institute is ousted. He's not ousted. His contract expired, and they didn't want to bring him back because it's a DI hire. This guy is all into woke. He removed Stonewall Jackson's statue from Virginia Military Institute. Stonewall Jackson was a distinguished graduate and an instructor at Virginia Military Institute. And because he was a Confederate general after he served in the U.S. Army, this clown took him down, Major General Cedric Wins. Well, his contract wasn't renewed. And they want to make it out like he was ousted. He wasn't ousted. He simply wasn't renewed because he was useless. That's how stuff goes down when you're useless. They get rid of you. How much money do you need to live comfortably in the United States for family too? I can't answer that question, John Dreyer. That's impossible. Where do you want to live? Where do you want to live? How do you want to live? You know, most people, it doesn't matter if they have $1,000 or $100,000 a month, they're broke because they're irresponsible. So it's an impossible question to answer. Average rents, there's no such thing as an average rent, but you know, most places that aren't in city centers going to cost you about $1,200 a month to rent an apartment. 20,000 rand a month for an apartment. But that really doesn't matter what it costs. What's your income? That's what matters. You live with your income. So, I mean, asking how much money you live with comfortably, that's ridiculous. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. I'm not your question's ridiculous, but it's a ridiculous thing to answer. I mean, I can't possibly answer it. I mean, I'm paying $300 a month for internet, but I could drop my gigabyte internet. I could have no cable, no television, and no landline, and just pay for internet. And I'd probably pay about $40 or $50 a month, maybe 100 max. So that would save me a lot of money. You live within your means. I don't like paying $300 a month, and I'm bitching about it, but I'm not going to be eating cat food because I'm paying for it. So anyway, hard to answer that question. You know, you got to give me the place, and, you know, we can look up the average cost of the place. And, you know, it's like I was talking about someone else. This lady's like, I went to the gym. Well, you're paying for gym membership and you have no money? Well, that's your fault. I mean, when I want to exercise, I go outside and I walk. South Africa can't do that, but here you can. Walk, go exercise, stretch outside, go to the local park. Go to a gym that's open to the public if there's one. It's like using a library. Don't buy books if you don't need them. I got tons of books. Go to the library. Thank you for the super chat. What about a live chat between you and immigration lawyer Leon Farisfeld? I have no idea who he is. No idea who he is. Is he the guy that's been doing the advice for South African Chamber of Commerce? Albert says it's obvious Trump gang tried to intimidate Zelensky to make Ukraine feel desperate. No, that's not obvious. That's your take, and it's flat out wrong. Krumah thinks he can make a Trump-style comeback. I don't think so. Yeah, ask that. Thank you. How much money? Okay, sorry. Been following the Amos Miller case? Not really. I haven't really been following it. It doesn't interest me. Thank you, Villamine. Okay. What about, I don't know who that guy is. Okay. Cynthia Fundamev, welcome to you. Trump has directed Pete to remove any high-ranking officers responsible for the Afghanistan withdrawal. Exactly. Instead, they're trying to turn into he's taking out people who are disloyal to him. No, he's taking out people who are failures. Someone's being held accountable for their failures in Iraq and Afghanistan, finally. Instead of promoted up the ranks to general, they're being removed. Yep. Don't most states offer free gym now with health care? No, not to my knowledge. I don't get free health. I don't get free gym. I get a gym, but that's because I have an ID to the military, but I have to drive 20 kilometers to get to it. I'm not driving 20 kilometers to exercise. Savages need a mind shift. We will not know what to do with all the freedoms yet. Yeah, YMCA company pays for it. Hey, Jess, the 5th or 6th. Chris, I don't know if you've done this before. Could you list the top 10 places to stay as refugees? Most of us have no idea where to go. I've covered that here before. It's not a question of where you'll go. I mean, it's a question of where they put you. I don't know where they're going to put you. I already run through that. I've done that before. I did that list. Got the report here. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Got so many damn things here. It's going to be an Acrobat file. So asterisk.pdf. Search. Completed, proposal letter, budget, SARS, Expropriation Act, agriculture, bills, Botswana, commercial kitchen, crime, violence. What the hell is this thing called? Immigration, refugee. I don't see it here. Okay, let's go with, I'll try asterisk. Refugee, nothing's showing up. I just try this. Okay, oh, there it is. I got it. Wow, look at that. It showed up that way. Comprehensive report. Okay, what was that just came up? Thank you for subscribing. Okay, so I've got to find what states. Where's this at here? Might as well print this page out when I get to it because you guys keep asking this question. 61. It's at the end. Okay. 61. That's 2, not 61. How do I get all the way back up there? There we go. Okay. These are the countries of origin. I don't want countries of origin. I want destinations. Okay, so tables. Now we got it. Okay, let me print this page out. Print. Current page. Boom. What's that? Another subscription. People must be seeing one of my videos and liking it. That's good. Okay, origin, sex, categories, refugee arrivals by state. Okay, 2 pages. So it depends one at a time. File, print, current page. I don't want to do selection. It takes longer. Current page, print, current page. There we go. All right. All right. Department of Homeland Security and U.S. Citizen Immigration Services refugee processing in 2023, the federal government spent $113 million on that. $126 is estimated for fiscal 2024. State and Bureau of Population, Refugees, Migration, and Admissions, $858 million. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families, Office of Refugee Resettlement, $1.2 billion. In 2024, we spent $3 billion helping refugees come to this country. That was for 25,000 refugees. 25,000, well, I'm sorry, 2.2 billion for 25,000 refugees. Is that right? Can't be right. Anyway, so states. This was the projected arrivals. This is not the cap. See, this is what people are telling you. They looked at something and go, aha, you won't be able to come. It's only 50,000. It's only 30,000. It's total horseshit. What they're doing is they're looking at the projected arrivals and actual admissions. Okay? So projected arrivals for fiscal year 2023, Africa, a total 40,000. That was up from 24,000 the year before. East Asia, 15. Europe, 15,000. Latin America, 15. Near East, 35,000. 120,000 unallocated reserves. So 125,000 what they expect to take in 2023. All right, so that's just a guideline. Okay, refugee arrivals by state of initial resettlement. Because somebody asked about this the other night, can they go to Hawaii? Hawaii had 0 refugees settled in. Here's the 49 states minus Hawaii because it got none. So top one, California, 2,178. Texas, New York, Kentucky, Washington, North Carolina, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania. 1, 2, 3. Thank you for your subscription. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, Pennsylvania, there were 10 states that took in over 1,000 refugees in 1 year. Yep. 8.5% went to California and 8.3% went to Texas. So in the top 10 states, that's 16, 17, 27, 36, and 9, 40. Half the refugees went to the top 9 states. But it goes as low as Mississippi, which took 3 refugees, probably because somebody was already there. West Virginia got 13, Alaska got 21. So anyway, those are refugee arrivals by state. Most recent data available. That's a report that the president must send to Congress every year. Tried to send you a video yesterday, a black guy with a whip attacking white farmers. I didn't see that. What's this? All right, hang on a second here. This stupid thing's acting up again. Live. Okay. Come on, YouTube. What's going on here? There we go. All right, we're back. No free gyms. Okay. Don't know if you did it. So there you go. Does that help, Reg Dot? Okay. So Trump wants to end the war, and if he deals sounds crooked, Europe borrows him more money from ammo. Crazy. I don't know what you're saying there. Immigration lawyer. Yes, I still don't know who he is, Suzanne. Never heard of him. Have you seen the Torture Squad video from Carte Blanche? What do you think Recky's doing with Lady R ship? Well, that's 2 completely separate questions, and I don't know what they were doing with the Lady R ship. The government of South Africa covered that up and lied to the public and lied to America. My experience from living in various countries is that Southern expats, like other expats, gather in certain areas. This is true in the U.S. Well, yeah, expats and refugees are 2 separate categories of people, Joe. 2 separate peoples and categories of people. If a refugee comes here and they're placed in a place and they decide to move somewhere, they lose their entire support structure. You can't just transfer it. You're not guaranteed you're going to get that free money and free support and free hosting and assistance is going to be somewhere you want to go. But people who immigrate to a country, yeah, they tend to cluster. That happens everywhere. You tend to see Americans, Americans are the least likely to do it, but you see Brits do it. They go to Ireland, they're in the same place. They go to New Zealand, the same place. They go to India, in the same place. Yeah, I mean, but refugees are not expats. Once they're no longer refugees, then they're expats. Or then they're Americans if they decide to apply for it. It looks at Trump administration working in lockstep there. Yeah, they are working well together. Beggars can't be choosers. Zelensky should have humbled himself. But there's no reason to humble himself. It was an agreement that would have helped. There's no humbling there. People are seeing this completely wrong. Yep. What's the story about new governor for Florida? His time is probably up. He's probably served his terms. Great channel America should buy RSA. I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, my salary is $4,500 a month. Only luxury we have is the internet, then rent, electric, food, and school. Our expertise is small, and we're 4 in the house. I found it very easy to assimilate. Don't expect to live in the same life in South Africa. Americans are friendly and welcoming and tend to share culture well. Yep, but we don't have domestics. John Steenhuisen has become a puppet for the ANC, says Tomahawk. Funny how they made so much noise when they were in the opposition. Exactly. Answer said the Tucker interview published tomorrow. Yeah, Garrett, I've covered that a bunch of times. Everybody comes in. Johnny can lately mention this. Thank you for that. Zelensky has the audacity to insist on another $300 billion for rebuilding. Exactly. And Trump is a bad guy. God bless it. Yeah. Ria says, thanks so much. Have a good night's rest. Take care. Is there an email address that maybe used to send you an email? Yes, Herman de Bruyne. Can one of the mods put it up there? But understand that I'm not quick at responding to that. Actually, I've got it since my mods probably weren't ready for it. I've got to just put it here, so I always got it. Paste. There's email. But, I mean, people are sending me stuff all the time I'm not asking for, so it takes a long time to get through this stuff. And I'm talking thousands of messages. I answer as many as I can. Actively working on raising minimum wage to 45 to 15,000. Well, good luck with that. That ain't going to happen. Who's going to pay for that? I don't believe in minimum wage. I think it's nonsense. Let the market dictate. Glad Trump is anti-war. My best friend just retired and he has 17 tours in combat. That's insane. That's insane. I only have 5. That's insane. Subspecies screw up, says Pierre. Good day, Rory. Logical question would be, where is ICE supporting from? Those would be the cavities to fill with refugees. No, it doesn't matter. It's where Homeland Security puts you. I don't know why people don't understand that, but I get your point. Companies are profit-driven. No wonder the world are going the wrong direction. No, that's nonsense. Companies are not profit-driven. They've been taken over by activists, and they're not profit-driven. That's why the world is failing. When companies were profit-driven, they delivered a product at the best price, the lowest price, the most efficient price for the largest audience. That's how things work. Now they don't care. Look at News 24. They don't care if they lie to you. They don't care if they propagate propaganda. They just put what they want up there. Thank you for your membership, Jules. They don't care. So, no, that's not true, Spock. You're living in a fantasy world. Companies don't exist to make profit. Many exist to make just enough profit so they don't get a business so they can push their social agendas. Yeah, no. If only. That's why a lot of company stocks are down, because nobody's buying their garbage. No, refugees won't be sent where labor is needed, Arctic. They'll be sent where programs exist, where there are sponsors and there are resources in place. That's where they'll be sent, and there's an absorptive capacity. That's where they'll go. They're not going to be sent where they see. They don't say that, Arctic, because you give the impression that we're taking people just for labor. That's not true. You'll be put in a place where there's absorptive capacity. That's how immigration is supposed to work, and how refugee resettlement works. You put in a place that has the ability to absorb you. Yep. I think you might misunderstand my question when I asked the top 10 affordable states from lower and middle class people. No, you're not being anal, but I didn't understand your question, so I'm glad you asked it again. Let's do this. Okay. So there are lots of different people who come up with this stuff. Okay. All right. So we'll give you a map here, and I'll show you the lowest cost of living. Okay. Okay. So here we go. Here's a map with cost of living. These are different sources, so they use different methodology. Okay. It's not what I want. That's what I want. There you go. So there's a cost of living index. The most expensive ones are in orange. And California is the most expensive state in the country to live, 137.6. But there's places in California that are cheap to live. New York, 134.5. If 100 is the average, anything below 100 is cheap. So Pennsylvania is 98.2, so we're right about the national average of cost of living. Mountain states, surprisingly, which are lovely places, are all more expensive, except for Idaho and Wyoming. Wyoming's only 92%. But Montana is 104%, Idaho 99.6%, Nevada 103%, Utah 102%, Colorado 104%, and Arizona 105%. The cheapest ones you'll find in here is Mississippi at 85%, along with Arkansas, dirt cheap to live in. Okay, so I'm sorry, actually California's not the most expensive. Massachusetts is 149. 149 is the price. So, and Hawaii is at 184, so it's almost twice as much to live in Hawaii as it costs to live anywhere else. Massachusetts costs 149% of the rest of the country. California 137, New York 134, and the top 22 states are higher than the average, and then the ones below that are below it. So here's state rankings here, a different chart. Arkansas is the cheapest, Mississippi, Alabama, South Dakota, Iowa, North Dakota, Oklahoma. Okay, and they have best state overall. Oklahoma is the cheapest, 7th cheapest, but the 43rd best to live in. That's not so good. So go back to Arkansas. It's the number 1 lowest cost, but it's almost the worst state to live in, 47th. Mississippi's number 2 in cost. It's the 48th. Do you see a correlation between affordability and crappy places to live? Now, the South Dakota is an exception. It's the 4th best cost of living, and it's the 11th best state in the country to live in. Yep. So there you go. Anyway, so that's... Here you go. Here's another one. Hawaii is the highest. Same data here, 182. Massachusetts is 2nd. California. So there you go. New York, Alaska, Maryland. So I'm really not sure what you're asking for there. It's really silly stuff. That stuff, it really doesn't matter. You're not going to get to choose where you want. So what do you care? Until you actually are a part of a program and have got yourself over here, it's really not going to matter. Yeah, Trump has done more in 30 days than Biden did in 4 years. He's done more in 30 days than any president's done in the last 25 years. Okay. ArcelorMittal is closing down. Yep. Part of my model, industry determines minimum wage, that becomes market related. Exactly. Ramaphosa wanting sanctions is crazy. He's willing to let South Africa go through. Yeah, well, he wants to play the martyr. No, JP Dreckmeyer, I didn't say all South Africans have domestic workers, but a lot do. A lot more South Africans have domestic workers, including black folks have domestic workers than people here do. I mean, it's an expectation by many people. I know plenty of people in Botswana that have domestics. They're Zimbabweans. Good morning. Enjoy your honest journalism. I learned a lot from you. Thank you, Susan. Appreciate that. Well, we have the best. I have German-designed and Israeli-built inverters. Yep. And my, how'd I do today for solar power? Wintertime. Yesterday I got 28.6 kilowatts a day. Before I got 34. Now I only have 20 panels. So, because I didn't pay for it. I didn't pay anything to get my solar installed. For info, Kenya, 480,000 refugees, 15 years. USA foots the bill. Okay. The red states are blue and the blue states are red. Suzanne says gym membership in Arkansas is $20 a month for family of four. No, it's not. There are hundreds of gyms there. So maybe that's what you pay, Suzanne, but that's not what gym membership is. That's what you pay. I guarantee I'll find a place that's more expensive. Maybe one is cheaper too. What you want to say is that you pay that much for gym membership. And maybe you picked it because it was the best place. Maybe you picked it because it's close to your home. Maybe because you picked it because you like the brand. But no, you go to Gold's Gym, you're not going to get it for that cheap. Planet Fitness, yeah, you can get it for $10 in a lot of places. I don't see Alaska. What do you mean you don't see Alaska? Alaska is incredibly expensive, one of the most expensive states in the country. I covered that. I mentioned that a few minutes ago. And as far as refugees, only 21 went there in 2023. Out of thousands, only 21 people went there. Not all white people have domestic workers. Yeah, well, and a lot of black people do. Well, what is this boil the frog thing? It's over. Stop. Get over that. The frog is already, cooked. You're dead in the water. It's already happened. Afrikaners aren't going to start a war. They can't even make a decision. How are they going to start a war? Do we have to buy or rent property, or will we be able to get an RV or boat? Well, you got that kind of money, then more power to you. You got to live somewhere. You're going to have to buy or rent, of course. You have to live someplace. You want to buy an RV? Go ahead. You're going to have to take a lot of money. You know what an RV costs? Hundreds of thousands of dollars, man. They're not cheap. Yes, I do have the patience of a saint. You're very welcome, Roy. Social security system. But I get accused, oh, you're touchy. You're angry. Why are you yelling at people? I ain't yelling at anybody, man. You're just being a wuss. Quit being, not you, Roy. These people are complaining. You're just being wusses. Put your big boy pants on. What's your opinion on how we should handle the Mexican cartels? Exterminate them. Social Security system provides assistance to elderly people, but my knowledge, you have to contribute 40 months before you become eligible. It's different for refugees. That's correct, Arctic. I'm not sure. I don't know what the law is, but I know with it. So supplemental Social Security is paid to people who are permanently disabled and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure how that works, but they don't just, okay, first off, you need to get this shit out of your heads. You think they actually bring people here so you're fucking starving to death? What kind of look is that? America's generous country. We're letting all these refugees come in. Oh, here, fuck you, starve. Look at them. We brought these crippled people over. Look at them. They're laying on the street. They're fucked. Come on, seriously? Use some common sense there. Honestly. Pepper's Echo's here. I didn't see Pepper's Echo. Where's Pepper's Echo at? Hey, there's Pepper's Echo. How you doing, man? How is wherever the hell you're at now? It's not Vietnam or Cambodia. It's China or somewhere like that. How's China? Okay. If you're not in South Africa, you don't have South Africa now, you won't qualify. If you got dual citizenship, like, you're not qualified. Well, we don't know if dual citizenship. I'm just saying that, you got to be careful about that. Is Alaska a ruck state? What's a ruck state? You mean a rich state? If so, why? It's full of natural resources. Oil, gold, gas, salmon, timber. Well, Alaska's incredibly rich, blessed. Pops used to say hard work is rewarded well, so if you're willing to work hard, you'll never be poor. But you got to have good habits too. People work hard and blow all their money. I want a boat. I love Jacques Cousteau. You can buy an RV for $150,000. That's a cheap one. You're welcome, Maria. Passport and ID and only South African citizenship. Cannot get citizenship or necessary. Yeah, we wouldn't want Chinese citizenship. No, but Jeff, if Pepper's Echo, if you're here to ask questions about whether you can be in the refugee program, you got to be in South Africa. You can't be outside it. I mean, you don't. It's about protection. See, this is where people have to divorce themselves. This is not an immigration program. You're not being given a cue to jump the line to immigrate to America. No. You're not being accepted as an immigrant. You'll probably fail the immigration test, but we are so freaking kind that we're going to let you come here as a refugee. And we're even more kind because you're not even real refugees. Real refugees flee from the country they're in and go to another country and usually live in tents for years on end in misery. That's a real refugee. But we're generous to countries like Cuba, where the threat is real, where Bosnia-Herzegovina, where the threat is real, and other places like South Africa, where the threat is very real, your life is in peril, or if you're a gay person in Syria, do the same thing. We'll let you glom onto the refugee program and get the hell out of Dodge before your life is terminated with extreme prejudice. This is about getting your life out. So if you're in Cambodia, or you're in Thailand, or you're in Australia, or Ireland, and you're South African, you want to come to America, you're fucked. You can't come here. Unless you go back to South Africa, where your life is in peril. Now, I'm not telling you how to game the system, but I mean, I don't know how it works, but I mean, if you're in South Africa when you're on holiday, and you're from South Africa, you get a home address there and you apply, maybe you'll be considered. I don't know. So it's not for people to immigrate to America. This is not immigration. Stop. Full stop. We don't give thousands of dollars to people to immigrate here. We don't prepay for your flight so you can come here with no money, and we pay for you to get over here. If you're immigrating, you got to bring your own way over here. You got to foot your own bill when you're an immigrant. You don't get any help. But refugees are special because people want to kill you and want to fuck you over. So we let you come over and we take care of it. The most generous fucking country in the world. We get shit on every day. Are any of the balls behind me World Cup balls? Yes. Those two up there are World Cup balls. The one on the left is a limited edition ball. Only 500 of them were made worldwide. I have the box, the certificate, and everything else. The one on the right is a championship ball. Both are from the 2019 World Cup. Yep. And then this is just a regular World Cup ball, which I purchased in Rustenburg on my first trip back to South Africa in 2022. And Nas Botha signed it here when I interviewed him. Joel Stransky signed it here when I interviewed him. And Victor Matfield did not sign it here when I interviewed him because I forgot the damn ball at a hotel in Santon City when I interviewed Joel Stransky. I left it there. But I did recover it through the good offices of my followers who rushed and went back and got it. So I've got it in black ink there. And on the other side, I had him sign it in gold. So you can see the gold ones there. So, yep, that's what that one is. 2023 France rugby ball. I've got Sevens World Balls and World Cups. Here's a World Cup fan ball from the Sevens World Cup in Cape Town. And I've got the San Francisco one. And I've got Rugby World Cup balls going back to 2011. Black gold. Is it true that Trump admin has to be in the office 9 days before? Nope. That's a fantasy. That's a fairy tale. That's a misinterpretation. Like so many of this other crap going on, people are reading things into it. As I said on my video, which obviously you're not watching, God, it's a lot of work to make the videos. At least people could do is go watch them. Again, it's not hard to find these videos on my channel. Once again, very simple. Let me show you how this works. Okay. All right. So there's my channel. You'll see playlist for you. Trump, South Africa, U.S. Refugee Admission Program Information Analysis. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos right there. Click on the title and look at all the videos here. There are 33 videos here on the refugee program. Look at that. All stuff on the refugee program. I don't know why that one's in there twice. That's silly. Oh, some of them are in there twice. Okay. Remove from Trump. Okay. Okay, so it's really 31 because they have duplicates in there. I don't know how they got in there twice. Oh, here's another one. Oh, no, that's why these shouldn't be here. I don't know why they're there. They shouldn't be there. So remove. Oh, I know, because I renamed this list, the playlist. I renamed it, so we're down to 29 episodes, 29 videos, including admissions, facts and analysis, part 1, part 2, and there's the third one up here. Where's the third one at? It's not here. Huh. Anyway, yeah, the videos are here. So just go check them out. But to answer your question directly, since you asked and you're here, the 90-day thing is a consequence on the 20th of January. Donald Trump signed an executive order freezing the refugee program worldwide. 26,367 people around the world were about to come to the States in the next 90 days from places like the DRC. And Trump suspended. You can't come here. Everyone's taking him to court over it, and he'll eventually win, but it's going to go through the courts. On the 7th of February, Trump issued an executive order which directed that the Secretary of State and Homeland Security come up with a program to prioritize arrivals from South Africa. Didn't say when it was going to take effect, didn't say how. So it could be, in theory, approved to start right away and would supersede the previous executive order. We just don't know. You have to wait and see. Start order, you have to first need to get people to agree. We can't even speak to each other. Exactly, Morgan, exactly. Exactly right. You have to be in South Africa and obsessed in South Africa to apply. Oppressed, exactly. Okay? Iceman said, I just watched your video. Spot on. Well said. It's something I've said to my wife for years. Well, thank you for that. James, have a good evening or a good day. What's an Army certificate? People quickly forget what America does for their country now that all the funding is being pulled. They're finally realizing how important a superpower. Yeah, they're all whining now. Oh, they just take us granted and shit all over us. But now that we're taking the money back, we're evil. We're responsible for 500,000 deaths in South Africa. No, we're not. You're responsible. Put a glove on. Quit sticking your dick where it doesn't belong. And for those who get it, unfortunately, through transfusions or through accidents or medical care people, sorry about that, but that's your government's responsibility. I know you don't have all answers. I want to ask if relatives, friends can come and visit you as a refugee in, say, a year or two, hypothetically, they can obtain, say, like, yeah, why couldn't they come? You can visit anybody in America, except prisons. You know, you have to get permission to go to prison. But, yeah, if you're here as a refugee, anybody can visit you. If your family stayed behind and didn't come, as long as they can get a tourist visa to come here, but who knows what's going to happen to diplomatic relations between the U.S. and South Africa between now and then. But yeah, you can come. Why couldn't you? Sedgefield. Okay, when you get shit on form everywhere, you're doing something right. Yeah. I work as a truck driver and the H-2A program in South Dakota and Minnesota for April, November. Hope to come back. Well, there you go, Peter. But when you get back, you have to apply for refugee program. By then, it should be up long before then. Your true life is in danger and your property rights are being stripped, but you can't work because of your skin color, but you are concerned about tax and exactly, exactly, which leads me to believe some people really aren't suffering that way. They just want a free access to America. It's a good point, Bab. I mean, why I'm answering questions about gym memberships, I'm answering questions about, this, that, and the other. I mean, there's some legitimate questions. People are like, I have a disabled child, who's an adult. I mean, what's going to happen there? That's a fair question. But I mean, make a video on how or why come your love. I've done it, Art, but people don't bother to watch the videos. So, I mean, maybe I need to do a new one. Christoph van Wyk asked and answered over and over and over again. Yep, I answered it again last night 3 times on that stream. The law says you must demonstrate that you were persecuted or you fear persecution. Therefore, you do not have to prove it. And Trump has made it easy for you. In his executive order, he says exactly what's going on. He says people are being discriminated against in a host. God bless, I got so much crap here now. There it is. Okay, executive order. This every day, more crap I need to put out here because people ask more questions. So, countless government policies designed to dismantle equal opportunity in employment, education, and business. There you go. And hateful rhetoric directed against you by the government. And it's for Afrikaners in South Africa who are victims of unjust racial discrimination. It's a pretty broad window, pretty easy. You're not going to prove jack shit according to that. But we'll see what the program says. So I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. Wouldn't lose any sleep over it. All right, you watch it, Tractor Champ. Thanks. Each and every video on Criminal West's site is very helpful. It's full of true facts worth watching if you want the truth. Thank you, Lorette. Appreciate that. A man broke in our home. My boyfriend slapped him. My boyfriend got arrested. The criminal was out the next day. My boyfriend was locked up for 2 days. Assault. Well, that's just messed up, Krista. That's why some of those people just wind up dead and no one ever finds them. Yes, I know that happens. It's sad that young people in South Africa like the talks and tells the truth on his own race. He gets called a traitor. So, well, that's just the nature of racists. They attack people because they're fearful. Racists are weak-minded people, whether they're white or black racists. Racists are weak-minded people, and they hate people because they're ignorant. It's in their heart, and they can't help themselves. Paul van Niekerk, not necessarily true. Some refugees have resources, and they get refugee status, and they got tons of money in the bank because they're able to transfer it. But yeah, generally speaking, that's true. Any interest in interviewing Joel Pollak? I doubt Joel Pollak would give me an interview. He's part of an inside circle of conservatives who don't like anyone else rising to fame or success. And that would be the likes of Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk, Joel Pollak. All the people who work for Breitbart. Now, they don't want to help other people. It doesn't work that way. No, I'd happy to interview Joel Pollak, yeah, but I have no contact with him and no way to contact him. I thought about writing an article for Breitbart to see if they publish it, but I doubt they will. It's a nice idea, though, Marley. I'd be happy to interview him. We don't yet, but in previous videos, Chris said that Donald Trump already established that for us. Yep. But we need to practice patience. There you go. Doing a great job exposing our useless politicians. Thank you, Mervyn. I do the great job exposing my useless politicians too, and that leads me. Thank you. That leads me to a point that I need to address here. I had people coming on saying, "Oh, I used to watch your program. It was so balanced. Now you were objective. Now you're just a right winger." My program is still objective, and I'm right of center politically. That is correct. I'm a conservative, fiscal conservative, a little more socially liberal, but not really liberal, just in the center for many things, although not when it comes to abortion. And that person's clearly a liar. They've been watching my recent contact where I talk about objectivity, and they stole that line to use it against me. So they can go hate wank in the corner. I expose all frauds. I've already complained about Donald Trump several times since he's become president. Most of what he's done, I've praised. But he's done a few things I disagree with, including this executive order, the way it's worded. I would not have worded it that way. And I criticized it on the day that it came out. So that's objectivity. Just because someone's in the same camp as me doesn't mean I have to agree with them on everything. But these people try to come and make their nonsense. You become a target. Yep, never shall a good deed go unpunished. Yeah, look at this. All the money we give the world, now we're the evil guys because we don't have the money. I've been away from your channel for a while, so I asked about the 90-day question because I've taken a break from videos. Sometimes we all need a break. Yeah, no, I'm with you, TY. Yeah, the 90-day thing was in the 20 January executive order, but in theory, this executive order would override that if they would just get off their ass. But then again, by the same token, they might be sitting around going, we don't have to have this done for 90 days because the president suspended all refugee access. I don't know. I'm not in the State Department. I can't answer that question. He had an interview yesterday with a South African. What South African? Business? New BE laws are pushing industries to withhold licenses. Yes, Carlene, I know you cheat on me with Ronaldo, and I'm upset about that. Jacqueline, both of you, thank you for becoming a member. Even if I need to prove discrimination against me, it'll be easy. Yeah, exactly. Job interview a week ago, and they said they're happy with me, but I'm not their culture. There you go. That's racist. Yep. The older you are, the harder it is to start over. Moving my parents to USA has been a huge debate for that reason. World News. Those are the guys that stole my content. World News on YouTube. Is that the ones? The other guys that stole my content. If that's the same channel we're talking about. There's a channel called World News that stole my content. I put my thesis out there, and then they ran a video after they watched mine. I don't know which World. There's something called World News. I don't know if we're talking about the same thing. I can't find them on YouTube. Anyway, I thought maybe it was on business. Those who just want to get the family out. Called a few friends of mine in the U.S. to ask them about how it is to live there. And next thing I know, I'm sorted with a place to stay, school, transport, job for my boyfriend. Americans are awesome. Yeah, we are. And we get shit on by the likes of Cyril Ramaphosa. Vaccine apartheid! Vaccine apartheid! Evil racist won't give us the jab! Hey, you've got a pharmaceutical industry. We invited you to participate in the trials. You told us to get fucked. We're not doing that. You're not experimenting on Africans. That's what you said, Cyril. Yeah, so we went ahead without it. We spent tens of billions of dollars developing jabs. which most of us never took. Tens of billions of dollars getting jabs. And then you run around the world claiming it's racist because we assumed all the risk, financial and the liability risk, all right here, although Trump waived the liability. That's why I find it so evil. And then the people who were tested on it, the guinea pigs, were white people, overwhelmingly, in America and the UK. Merck, Pfizer, GlaxoSmithKline, Abbott, all done right here. None of the shits in Germany did it. None of the shits in Switzerland, which have huge pharmaceutical industries, did it. Nobody in Norway did it. AkzoNobel didn't do it. Aspen Pharmacare did it in South Africa. We took all the risk. And then you want to whine it's racist? Well, you didn't participate. The people that contributed, they get first bite of the apple. You little shit. You tub of lard. McD. Burger Boy Bob Ramaphosa. Seriously. Running around screaming racism because you're lazy shit and didn't want to participate in it with your propaganda. We gave you $711 million. Aspen Pharmacare to make jabs for Africa. Where are they? That was in 2021. 4 years ago. Almost 4 years ago. Your program is just great. Many times you have been objective and even played devil's advocate. What I enjoy is don't mince words and say, yeah, well, thank you, Pepper's Echo. I do. But it's a threat to the narrative. That's why the YouTube took my channel off the first time, because that evil scumbag wench was running YouTube. She's since passed away from cancer after she left YouTube. But yeah, she was running it and they just censored everything. Yep. Okay, Johan Prat. Again, we've had this conversation about passports. I have no idea what you're talking about. Central American cartels operate with people in the military, like the arrest in Camp Pendleton. What, was a gang member arrested in the military assigned to the Marines? Well, then we'll hunt them down. Wouldn't be the first time. Joe had an interview with the YouTube from South Africa yesterday. Joe who? Who's Joe? Joel Pollack? You said Joe. They help you with the combination when you go over there. Even if Mornay wasn't there, I wouldn't mess around. Okay. When did disagreement become so bad? I can relate both sides. Morgan, it became bad when Barack Obama became president and social media proliferated. He was the first president to rely on Twitter, and that's when it all went sideways. It really arguably went sideways with the Clintons' arrival. The world has really floundered since the end of the Cold War. I mean, it may have been evil, and it's horrible that people are trapped behind the Iron Curtain, but the Cold War, things were much clear cut. And things have really gone to crap since the end of the Cold War because the U.S. didn't want to stand up and be the superpower that it was. And it abrogated some of that responsibility, and the world collapsed into chaos. Look at all the crazy stands and all the periphery states in the former Soviet Union, in Georgia, Abkhazia, Nagorno-Karabakh, all these conflicts going on. Look what's happening in Africa, Rwanda, Liberia, the list goes on and on. Central African Republic, Niger, Mauritania, Burkina Faso, Mali, it just goes on and on. Thank you for the super chat there, Marley Pelzer. You're very welcome. Yeah, it's just now we finally have an adult in the room that's living under realism, which is what the world is, a realistic foreign policy. Geopolitically, international relations is realism. There are many schools of thought. Constructivism, which is what they've been pushing for 30 years, it failed. Constructivism has failed, but they are still trying to push it. Yep. I appreciate this option for us. It's sad to not know where you're going to go when things get worse. This refugee program is giving a sense of belonging and safety. Well, if it happens, and when it happens. Yep. Most of the American companies require proof that you can live and work, so you have to produce your green card. So if you're applying for a job now to try to get ahead of the game, unless they recruit you and sponsor you for an H-1B visa or something like that, you're going to get rejected. U.S. Ambassador frontrunner, South Africa's playing with fire. Well, he's only a frontrunner because you all keep repeating that. Nope, never met Leon Schuster. White people may as well be Afrikaners. All the people see when killing is white skin. Yeah, I know. That's why Amy Beale was bludgeoned to death by a racist in the Cape Flats in the 1990s. An American blonde-haired, blue-eye graduate student bludgeoned to death by murderers who were pardoned by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And her parents forgave them. Last night, a guy was murdered. Attempted to steal his bike. This happened down the road from us. Africa is a welfare state that's failing. South Africa was supposed to be a powerhouse, but decided it's better to keep the masses oppressed. Yep. What do you think, Chris? If the refugee program starts, how long do you think it will take us from the start? I have no idea, Hank. I have no idea. The fact that Trump said prioritize may make it fast. But again, I caution you folks, this has no impact on your program for South Africans, but 7.6 million Africans are currently sitting in refugee status in camps awaiting resettlement outside of Africa or elsewhere in Africa, mostly outside Africa. The United States isn't taking 7.6 million people from Africa. That ain't going to happen. So, but South Africa's a different story. So anyway, there you have it. Let's watch the Zelensky thing, okay? How are we doing on time? We got a little bit of time here. Okay. Oh, yeah, let me play this for you. Did you guys see this? This is what's going on in Wales. Here you go. Watch this. This is insane. This is a small group that's getting money from the state to promote people to come. And look what they use, little girls to entice refugees to come to Wales. This is sick. This is sick.
Hello and welcome to Wales. We understand being a refugee isn't easy. They go through so much.
Fleeing your country is difficult, but Wales wants to help you feel welcome.
The Welsh Refugee Council is here to help you. You can contact them here.
The Welsh Refugee Council.
Wales is a nation of sanctuary. We welcome anyone and everyone. We recognise your skills and talent.
The Welsh Refugee Council offers a lot of support, including
ESOL classes, which means English for speakers for other languages. It may be hard to learn our language, so we offer support. Employment. You may feel stressed about employment, but we can help. They help you to apply for bank accounts, travel.
So that's what they're doing, using little schoolgirls in school outfits to entice people to come to Wales. They have lost the plot in a country where white girls are enslaved as sex slaves in the Midlands in England. Yep, they've lost the plot. That's Wales. It's gone too. Oh, here, I got this. Check this out, guys. So this is what happened. This is what happened in Chicago at Midway. Arctic sent this to me. So this is, we're going to play this. This is pretty wild. This is where the pilot ignored the tower and nearly caused a collision on the landing of the Southwest Airlines flight. The Southwest Airlines flight guy sounds like he's from Latin America, but what a hero. Here we go. I'm going to play this. Let me see if I can get myself on screen so that we are not obstructing the view here. Okay, yeah, that's not going to do. Okay, so I'm going to stay over here. Listen to this. This is unbelievable, okay? This is crazy.
Flight 560, turn left on runway 4 left, cross runway 31 left, and hold short on runway 31 center.
Right, left on 4 left, cross 22.
Okay, this moron just repeated instructions wrong. He is just above my head in the corner coming down, and then he's going to turn left and cross the main runway. All those yellow things on the ground are planes on the ground. This idiot repeats the tower's instructions incorrectly, and they correct him.
Or 13 center, flight jet 560.
Flight 560 negative, cross runway 31 left, hold short runway 31 center.
Okay, so he was given instructions by the tower. He's below me now, just over there towards the center, the single plane just below the corner of my image there. And he was given instructions, and the tower, I'm going to go back so you can hear the whole thing again. And then he repeats the instructions, gets it wrong because he's not paying attention. And then the tower corrects him, and he still runs across the runway. The Southwest flight coming in sees it and still has enough airspeed to take off and fly around again. It's unbelievable.
Flight 560, turn left on runway 4 left, cross runway 31 left, and hold short on runway 31 center.
Right, left on 4 left, cross 22 or 13 center, flight jet 560.
Flight 560 negative, cross runway 31 left, hold short runway 31 center.
Cross 31 left, hold short 31 center, flight jet 560.
Okay, he's got the directions correct now, and he's just turning. He's supposed to hold, and he runs right across the runway as the Southwest Airlines 737 comes in on approach. Probably had 130 people on the flight. And you can see the plane moving there. There it goes. See all the planes on the ground moving. I know they're small on your screen. Here comes the Southwest Airlines flight coming in there. And look, he's crossing the main runway.
Southwest 2504 going around.
2504, roger that, come maintain 3000.
Flight 560, hold your position 2504 up to 3000. Hold position, Flight 560. Flight 560, continue across the hold short of hotel. Across the hold short.
So the Southwest Airlines flight caught it. The pilot, oh God, amazing job. And he just took off in the air again instead of landing. He was just about to land to avoid that collision. And this idiot who went right in front of him, I don't know if he even realized he went right in front of him, because he keeps moving and ignoring directions from the tower and eventually going to tell him to stop. Yes, to be fair, Arctic, it is a terribly designed airport. That's right. But then you should be especially alert when you're at Midway. You should know it.
Hotel, Flight 560. Flight 560, your instructions are to hold short of runway 31 center.
He's still moving.
So 2504, unable turn left heading 220.
So that's the Southwest flight. They're unable to go in the direction the tower directed them. I don't know what the reason was, but the tower's letting them to take a different path as they circle around and get back into flight pattern. And this idiot's still on the runway moving forward. Now, this guy's flying the kind of plane that Arctic flies, if I'm not mistaken.
Left heading 220, Southwest 2504.
He's still moving, all by himself up there.
Flight 560, hold right there, sir. Don't move. Hold position 560.
Yeah, so they just told him to stop. This guy's a hazard to aviation safety. It's insane.
That's Tower Southwest 2504. How'd that happen?
Yeah, exactly. How'd that happen? How did that happen? I mean, this stuff happens a lot, but now that we got video all over the place, we know about it more often. That's just crazy. That's just crazy, folks. Thanks to Arctic for sending me that. Appreciate that. Whoops, that crashed on me. Hang on. Stupid YouTube. Boy, this is becoming a regular feature here. YouTube. All right, 401 people currently here. All right, so should we watch the Zelensky tape now? It's like comparing the Titanic to Hindenburg. Told 9 times to hold. Yep. Okay. Sometimes sick does not cover it. Yep. Chris, you talked about $5 million. That's dollars? That's not rand. No, it's $5 million. That's the gold program that Trump just announced. No, normal immigration is not $5 million. It takes longer and it's less than that. But 800,000, I think, is normal. No, it can't be property. It has to be financial. You have to put $5 million in the bank in the U.S. It has to be guaranteed or something like that. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, property in South Africa will be worthless when the country implodes. So you can't pledge property. Never felt more safe in my life living here. It took me 4 years to do what I couldn't do in 28 years in South Africa. Yeah, no doubt. It's an amazing country. Remember when you get caught as a kid doing something stupid? That's the feeling you hear. Number to copy. Exactly. All right, let's get the, let me see if I can find this. It's going to be over here. I got to look for it real quick because I clipped out the last 10 or 12 minutes. So we'll listen to that. It'll be entertaining. Pull out the popcorn. It was really entertaining last night. A lot of the leftists are freaking out. Oh, Trump was so impolite. He's so rude. It was a setup. Well, no one asked Zelensky to open his mouth. Zelensky did that all on his own. He needed no help. And he set the trap himself. And Trump was even calm with him, tried to calm him down. He still kept running his mouth, and Trump finally had enough of it. Well, thank you, Anton. It's a Christmas wintry sweater. It is still wintertime here, although we're coming out of it now. Trump wants to make a deal to end the war. Giving Ukraine more money to purchase ammo is not ending the war. Europe is giving more money. Yep. That is true. That is true. So, all right. Oh, my goodness. This happens frequently. I don't know why it's doing this. It's indexing is not. There we go. Okay, so Zelensky, Trump. That's the full one. I don't want that one. Zelensky wants war. Here it is. No, that's not it. There it is. Okay, 12:30. Okay, got it. Okay, here we go. Let's. This is the interview, and this is after 39 minutes into it. This is the last 12 minutes. This is where it got all spicy and interesting. Many friends and family around the world. Everywhere is better than South Africa, says Arctic. Okay. So. Hang on, I gotta get myself up on the screen. Okay. There we go. All right, so I'm going to hang out in this corner over here. So Trump waits patiently for 39 minutes. He tries to calm him down with some lighthearted jokes. Says we've reached an agreement. We're going to go sign it. We're having lunch. And Zelensky just can't help himself. He thinks he knows. He's that stubborn asshat who thinks he knows better than anybody else. Here you go. Hey, Aiden, how's it going?
On the minerals deal, Mr. President, some of those minerals are in the east of Ukraine, not far from the front lines, and in areas that Russia...
A very good question. Thank you so much.
Will you direct President Putin to withdraw his forces from those areas if there's U.S. interest?
Well, we'll take a look at the time. We have a lot of area. It's a very big area we're talking about. So we'll take a look. I'll study that and I'll see.
And who would protect those minerals if they are U.S. interests? Would that be Ukrainian
They'll be
forces,
protected.
European
The agreement will protect them.
US
The agreement, yeah, we're signing an agreement.
President, what if Russia tries to invade or there's Russian aggression in those spots?
I just told you, I don't think that's going to happen. And if that were going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal. If I thought that was going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal.
Some people may wonder
You know, they ought to focus on CNN on survival, not asking me these ridiculous questions. All right. Focus on surviving, because CNN's got such low ratings, I don't think they're going to survive. Let's go. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Since I already mentioned Poland. Poland was under Russian control for decades after the Second World War. When I was a kid, I looked at the United States
When I was a
not
kid.
only as a most powerful country, richest country in the world, the country that has great music, great movies, great muscle cars.
Great muscle cars.
But also as a force for good. And now I'm talking with my friends in Poland, and they are worried that you align yourself too much with Putin. What's your message for them?
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" That doesn't work that way.
Nope.
I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America. And for the good of the world, I'm aligned with the world. And I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that guy.
By the way, behind Zelensky is the U.S. Army flag. I don't know if you see that. The white flag with the red sash on it. That's the U.S. Army flag.
He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that. But I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question. Yeah, please.
I want to respond to this. So look.
So one more question. And that question wasn't staged. That was a question from the Polish guy. And Zelensky said it was a good question. The other one, too. And so this is where Vance jumps in. And Zelensky can't help himself.
For 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path...
So notice that Vance is not preaching to Zelensky. He's talking to the media. He's preaching to the media to lay out the facts about what actually happened for the past 3 years. He's not preaching to Zelensky, but Zelensky then jumps in like, the little wuss who got offended, and it goes sideways.
To peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Okay, so that was not directed at Zelensky. So all the people that claim this was a setup are full of it. This should have been the end of it. Trump said one more question, and Trump answered the question, and J.D. Vance said, "Can I add something?" for basically context, which he just did, and that should have been the end of it. They should have gone and signed it. Look at the look on Zelensky's face. He's already got a snarky look on his face. And he's going to try to do the same crap he's been doing for 3 years. Every time he wants money, they break all the agreements and they invaded us and it's evil. Yeah, it's all true. Who gives a crap? It's not germane to this conversation. You're there to sign a deal which will get America involved in Ukraine and vested in your interest economically. And we're going to give you more military aid as a consequence of that. which we'll use as leverage to make Vladimir Putin stop killing people because we're going to have Americans on the ground there working your mining industry with your people. And you get 50% of the profit, not the revenue, the profit. We get 50% of the profit because you owe us $280 billion in loans, which you're never going to pay back. Very straightforward. And watch this asshat. Watch what he says.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
He occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of...
Yeah, we don't need the lesson, Volodymyr. We know the history because Barry Obama was the president and he didn't do shit to stop it. He sent you bandages and Band-Aids and blankets. Trump sent you javelins.
East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama. Then
so now here he goes and he starts insulting President Trump. Now, what he doesn't say is the context here. When Obama and Bush were president, Russia attacked its neighbors. When Biden was president, Russia attacked its neighbors. When Trump was president, Russia didn't attack any of its neighbors, including Ukraine. Ukraine was never attacked when Trump was president because he gave them javelins. He supported them and he showed deterrence to the Russians. But then he throws Trump in, the Bush, and Obama, and President Trump, and Biden, and President Trump. This guy is a moron, or he wants trouble.
President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014.
Well, 2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
I was not here.
Yes, but
don't blame me.
During 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron.
Now, that's an attack on President Trump. He's insulting President Trump because Trump was talking about doing a deal, making a deal. So he says, I signed a deal with, and he points to Trump. This guy has no diplomatic skills whatsoever. And he's been getting away with 3 years because the leaders of all these countries are pussies. They're all cowards who've never served, who don't know what it is to be a leader. But now they've met a leader.
And Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed him.
Yeah, I know the history. Get to it, Volodymyr. It's going to go bad here very soon.
Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's just...
Look how he leans back with his arms and arrogant. Look at that smirk on his face. By the way, he said something in Ukrainian that was insulting under his voice, and the Ukrainian ambassador to Washington dropped her head like this, was so embarrassed by what he said. I don't know it because I don't speak Ukrainian, but people are claiming he said a certain thing. All I know is he said something in Ukrainian, and she dropped her head in shame. She couldn't believe he said it. He has a Napoleon complex. So it's just unbelievable. By the way, so this guy, our Secretary of Treasury, went to Kiev. They engaged with him in Kiev, and they had a meeting, which they argued a lot, but he agreed to sign this thing he's supposed to sign in D.C. He agreed to sign in Kiev. They come out to the press. Scott Bessent is expecting to sign the document right there, and he says, I'm not signing it here. I'm going to sign it in Munich at the security conference where the vice president's going to be at. So he went to Munich, and he was going to play the same game he's playing right here, which he played in Kiev. But in Munich, J.D. Vance spoke before he got a chance to talk to him, and J.D. Vance blew right out of the water by saying Europe is a censorship state and pissed them all off. He had the German crying up on stage. And so he didn't sign it in Munich. So he said he'd come to America to sign it. Then he spends 90 minutes with Trump in negotiating this, agrees to sign it, comes out here, and then he starts this crap. And Trump's at fault? Please, look how calm. Trump didn't set anybody up. This guy set himself up because he's an idiot.
Respectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to...
Okay, so Zelensky, have you been to Ukraine to know what our problems we have? Dude, it's not germane. We're not here to discuss your problems. I don't care what your panty size is. I don't care if your penis is too small to fit in your underwear. That's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the agreement, and we've already done it. You're supposed to go sign it now, so shut up and go sign it. It's ridiculous. No one cares. Look at him. Arrogant.
Once.
I've actually watched in.
By the way, what I want to say too is that is he so stupid to think that the president and vice president don't have access to the most detailed and informative intelligence of any leader on the planet? Doesn't mean they have better intelligence than Zelensky, but you think he's uninformed about what's going on in Ukraine? What do you think, he just watches Twitter? Dude, I wrote for the President of the United States and the Vice President. I wrote intelligence products for them. I was published 9 times with the President of the United States. I know what presidents ask for. I know what information they're looking for. I know what they're briefed on every day. Every single day. At least once. This guy's funny. Little Napoleon, yeah.
Seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
I disagree with that, Steve Young. I said, good morning. What happened at White House should have been behind closed doors. It was behind closed doors. But leaders always come out and answer questions to the press. That's what they did. And this turned into a 49-minute press conference, and it was good for 39 minutes, and Zelensky was able to get his point across. Trump was polite to him. Look how he is there. Trump's not aggressive. He's actually kind of in a beta pose there with his hands down, his legs open, and is submissive. He's trying to give the guy a break. And no, Zelensky did this. Gave J.D. Vance a chance to introduce himself. I don't know what you mean by that. Steve, J.D. Vance is well known, and he just pissed all the Europeans off in Munich. So he doesn't need to introduce himself.
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what
I'm not
You're
dictating.
in no position.
See, it was all calm until he pissed Trump off. This is about 40, let's see, this is 6 minutes. This is 45 minutes into this, and it goes for another 5 minutes. Yeah, it went 45 minutes before Trump had enough of this nonsense, and it's all because he's like telling us how we're going to be. Trump's like, basically he's had enough of it.
To dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a
Brown,
good position.
You
don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards.
Playing cards.
But right now, you don't.
Yeah,
you're playing cards.
Mr. President.
You're playing cards.
Okay, so he may not get the language. I'm not playing cards. He might not get, but he was. I think he understood what he's saying. The reference. He was being a smartass. I'm not playing cards. I'm serious here. Yeah, LSR. I'm well aware that whites and Afrikaners look the same to other South Africans who want to murder you. But I mean, what does that change? What does that have to do with anything, other than getting empathy, which is fine. You deserve it.
Serious.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once?
A lot of times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank you?
Even today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for.
Yeah, now that's a very big point. Look at the snarky, venomous attitude of Zelensky. He interfered. They talk about Russia collusion. They talk about interference in our elections. Zelensky went to Scranton, Pennsylvania, to the ammunition factory, the artillery rounds factory, and campaigned for Kamala Harris, who had never even been to Scranton in her life, doesn't even know what an ammunition factory looks like, went there for a campaign event to help her get elected to defeat Trump. This is the guy who is telling us we owe money to Ukraine? No.
The United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is...
Trump jumps up and defends his vice president because Vance was very calm, not loudly.
In big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
You've done a lot of talking. Trump says that at 46 minutes, 22 seconds after the press conference started. Because this guy just won't shut up.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay.
So Trump just tells the guy basically to shut up without saying shut up. You have a chance to walk out of here in great shape, but you're stepping on your dick. That's what he's telling him.
Because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks.
You've been alone? I'm sorry. We gave you $350 billion alone. You've got M1 Abrams tanks. You've got Bradley fighting vehicles. You've got UAVs. You've got ATACMS missiles, which you don't even give to our friends. You're alone? Then you've got Leopard tanks from the Germans. You've got F-16s from the Dutch, from the Americans, and you're alone? You've got thousands of mercenaries fighting there from all over the world, and you're alone? Ungrateful.
You haven't been alone.
In this cabinet, and not only in this cabinet.
We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military equipment.
So instead, he talks over Trump. He says, you voted for your president. And talk about insult. Trump believes he was cheated out of that election. He didn't vote for him. This guy is beyond arrogant. And the left defending him, screaming about stuff.
You men are brave, but they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have our military equipment,
if
you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days. I heard it from Putin. In 3 days.
A smarky, smarmy. Yeah, in 3 days, I heard this from Putin. The war would be over in 3 days. What is that? You're a guest in the Oval Office of the most powerful person on the planet, whether you like him or not. And you're going to talk over him, and you're going to be smarmy with him. Not a wise move, buddy.
This is something
maybe
new
less
in 2 weeks. Of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
Just say thank you.
And Trump chills again. Look at that. Trump is not. He never raised his voice. He didn't yell at the guy.
I said a lot of times thank you to American people.
Except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I agree.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
Thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
I can tell you
you're
again,
running low
I know.
on soldiers. Listen, you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then you tell us, I don't want.
Zelensky thinks he's actually a peer with Trump. That's the problem here. He actually thinks he's a peer.
A ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
it doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what.
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
nation- It
That was
wasn't
with
you.
a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
But this
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards.
Trump's getting angry now. He's getting angry. You got to be thankful here.
With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
Going to be a tough deal to make, because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat.
Tomahawk, okay, enough. Arctic has already answered your question. Moderators are not deleting your comments. Quit putting profanity or whatever it is you're putting in there. YouTube is removing it. If you don't like the answer he gave you and you don't believe he's telling the truth, then, I mean, I don't know what to tell you here. No one's deleting your comments. I have no deleted comments in my chat. They never showed up. So you're doing something that offends YouTube, not us. Stop doing it. I see a bunch of comments from you. You're constantly commenting.
That scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right, we'll see what we can do about putting it together. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, anyway, that was the last part of it. So, yeah, Zelensky, what a clown. Yeah, folks, your comments being deleted. My monitors have not deleted any comments. I can see when they delete comments, and I can override their deletion. And I haven't seen any comments being deleted by mods. So yeah, my opinion was Zelensky should be replaced if views weren't aligned with U.S. Well, that's not our place. That's up to Ukrainian people. But I don't think he's going to be present there much longer. Starlink will probably be severed within the week. You mean it to Ukraine? I doubt that. What if the statement South Africa will not be bullied would be said now? I don't think it'd be said as much confidence. I think the ANC are running a little bit scared after what happened. But let's see if they get stupid and double down. What's this Johnson? Yeah, there are never any guarantees. By the way, does anybody know when the Korean War ended? Can somebody tell me when the Korean War ended? Okay, Lillian O'Donnell just put a comment up that was blocked by YouTube, and one of my moderators released it. But your other comments didn't even show up here. There's none that are hidden. So hers was... Charmaine is getting the notification, so that's good. Does anybody know? Okay, when did the Korean War end? Okay, I'm going to put some dates up for that. Hang on. Okay. All right, there you go. Oh, yeah, this would go very bad for Cyril Ramaphosa, that thing there. Yep. So what year did it end? 1953, 1958, 1959, or never? What year did the Korean War end? Ended in 50, says Bill. 53 says Marty. 56 says Garrett. Okay. Pierre is hosting Stupid Gamers. I think he's talking about the ANC. How many votes? Got 4750 votes, 378 people here. Come on and vote, people. Come on and vote. The ANC has no problem sinking South as long as they stay in power. True. $70 votes. Come on, let's get some more votes up there. And Arctic has fallen into my trap. It's Stupid is as stupid does. They'll wait for distraction and go right back at it. 75 votes. 75 votes. All right, how can we get to 100? 368 people. Let's see if we can get 100 for representative sample. 81. Need 19 more votes. 19 more votes. You're listening to Sunrise with the Colonel here on YouTube. Your sponsor is Energade and Billy's Biltong. Francois Bretz, thank you for subscribing. 88 votes. Need 12 more. 20 more. 12 more. 12 more. 12 more. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Don't be eating the Mopani worm. No Mopani worms today. 98. 2 more votes. 99. There it is. All right. We'll end it there. Cool. All right. End the poll. 102 votes. Ladies and gentlemen, the answer is, to reference Volodymyr Zelensky, ceasefire. Ceasefire means nothing. The Korean War has not ended. You fell into my trap, Arctic. Yes, there was an armistice signed in 1953 which stopped the fighting. There is no peace treaty. The war officially goes on. As a consequence, U.S. military who serve at least 30 days on the Korean Peninsula are eligible to become members of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, which is only for people who've served in foreign combat zones outside the United States. Korea is still a combat zone to this day. The war never officially ended. So when Volodymyr Zelensky says ceasefire is no guarantee, well, there's no guarantee in the Korean Peninsula, but deterrence, and arming the South Korean Republic of Korea forces and U.S. forces to the teeth, and the nuclear threat has kept North Korea from crossing the border since 1953. There you go. You're still drunk. He went to grok. Yeah, he fell in my trap, man. Yeah, he fell into my trap. Futi Johnson says, it's too cold. There's no help for older people. I'm thinking going back to my country, but there's too many problems there. Where is there no help for people? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Futi Johnson? What are you talking about? Where are you and where is there no help for older people? Yeah, there are U.S. boots in Korea. That's right. We used to have 50,000, but now we're down to 26,000, something like that. Yep. So there you go. So when Zelensky says ceasefire means nothing, he's wrong. He's wrong. Well, we have 50,000. Well, you think that's something, Stefan. When we have 50,000 troops in Korea, we had 287,000 active duty army troops in West Germany, 160,000 Air Force troops in West Germany, a couple thousand Marines and Navy personnel assigned to headquarters. So we had 500,000 Americans. And when you add family members, for those who had families, over 1 million Americans in 1990 lived in West Germany carrying a Department of Defense ID card. Over 1 million people were walking around with an ID card like this from the Department of Defense in 1990. The population of West Germany was 62 million. Every 63rd person in West Germany was an American citizen either working for, we had 100,000 civilians too, by the way, so it was well over a million, was every 63rd person in West Germany walking around was an American citizen living in Germany under a status force agreement, carrying U.S. military ID card, living off or working off American base. So yeah, quite a bit. And then we had troops in Japan. We had troops in the Philippines. We had Subic Bay and Clark Air Force Base with thousands, tens of thousands of Air Force and Navy personnel. Yep. It's crazy. Yep. Morgan, that's part of the argument that the Russia will not attack because they'll be attacking Americans operating in Ukraine. Plus, it's a way to get back the money to recoup the $200+ billion in loans we gave to Ukraine, which they're never going to pay. Marshall Plan was lucrative for whom? I wouldn't say it was lucrative. I said it was very successful for a lot of people. Weed dispensaries are opening all over the place. I think the ANC has a shop around the country. They're opening in Colorado too. Culinary Pirates. So Futi, what were you talking about in the age thing? You didn't respond. Lived in Habra in 82, just before we came to South Africa, and met many U.S. military kids in the park. Yep. We used to be Americans almost every town. Hey, Vanessa, how's it going? Alrighty, folks, 459 likes. That's all we got. Usually get about 700 or more. That's very disappointing this morning. We did get some super chat revenue. Thank you all for that. Appreciate it. Old newspaper from Korean War. 2 fighter planes in the air with a Jesus figure between these 2 fighter planes. Interesting. All right, guys. 3 hours. I need to get to bed, get some sleep. Tomorrow's my last free day. I spend this week at the War College doing consulting. It's going to eat me up during the day. I will spend my lunch hour on my mobile phone broadcasting, which works. So look for that. But it won't be scheduled until, I'll see if I can set it up earlier. But we'll see. ANC have just voted with Zelensky recently for Ukraine. Ukraine will never be able to join NATO. Yeah, no, that's a no-go. They shouldn't be in it. We never should have expanded east either. That was a mistake. Anyway. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Cheers. Have a good night. Appreciate you being here. Take care of yourself. And be safe. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the engagement. I hope I answered your questions. It's amazing how many words I have to put out every night to do this. Cheers, everybody. God bless.